Three, two, one. Hello and welcome to episode 138 of Ruse Radio. We have a very special guest. Special guest, please introduce yourself, sir.
What up? Demetrius L. Jackson.
Demetrius L. Jackson in his house. Demetrius, how are you feeling on this fine evening, sir?
Hey, I'm feeling pretty good, man. I'm about to fly out to do a tour and shit. So
yes,
it's about as good as life gets right now.
Where is this tour?
Flying into Phoenix. I'm doing Phoenix, San Diego, LA, and Palm Springs. Excuse me.
Like over this next month? Is the house working out?
Shit, over this next week.
So when this podcast comes out, the tour will have happened.
Yep.
Oh, we're from the past right now.
Yeah, dude.
Wow.
Time traveler shit right
Fucking
now.
time traveler shit. How often have you toured before? I'm sure.
Yeah, I did one other one before, and I did Columbus, Ohio, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Indianapolis, and Chicago.
Nice.
And that's what made me want to move here for a little bit.
Really? Just seeing the city at all?
Feeling out the vibes, improv, the fucking culture,
Yeah. Interesting. Because, that's what attracted me to Chicago, was just visiting and feeling that vibe and seeing that culture. I felt like it resonated with what my soul would probably need.
Where are you from?
Michigan.
Ah.
So not too far away.
What part of Michigan?
Oh, as they all do. I'll point to it on the camera there. Like right in mid-Michigan, right there. Flint, Michigan. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
If for reference, it's about an hour away from Detroit. Everybody knows where Detroit is, over there by Canada. So
No wonder your hand is shaped like that, nigga. You got radioactive shit in the wall.
it gave me superpowers. It's like Spider-Man. That's how superheroes are born,
That's
I'm
what's
pretty
up,
sure.
bro. I fuck with that.
Yeah, it's probably my lead poisoning.
Yeah.
Flint's a fun one. I always say we used to be known for murder, just like Chicago. Now it's water. Now it's poison water.
Which is still murder.
And I actually think maybe Chicago is going to come around. Maybe our poison water will
It's
catch up to
murder,
us.
but more like Luigi Mangione style. It's incompetence murder.
Yeah.
No one did it on purpose, but if the money's right, you're going to have to die. So.
And what I'm saying is Rick Snyder has an address. That's what he's trying to say, is Rick Snyder still has an address, folks.
Yeah, fuck Rick Snyder. I don't know who
Rick Snyder. He's the guy who caused the water crisis. He's one of the people they blame it on. And then another person is whoever his crisis manager was. It was a whole scandal.
Joe Biden.
Yeah, Joe Biden. They blamed it all. Honestly, though, it still is crazy because Obama ended up coming to Flint. Obama came to Flint, and there was a whole thing where he went on stage and he said, I remember when I was a kid and I chipped a little paint off the wall, and then I might have consumed a little bit of lead. And then he asked the audience, can somebody get me a glass of water? And they're all like, no, Obama, don't drink the water. And then he says, no, I want tap water. I want some water. I'll be fine. And then he takes the smallest sip ever of the water. This was all on a Michael Moore documentary, is what really made the whole thing popular.
That's funny.
It's hilarious. And then the next day or a couple days later, he's sitting at a table with Rick Snyder, the guy. He was the not mayor. What the fuck do you call him? And my idiocy is showing.
The chief.
The chief in charge of the state. Yeah, exactly. The executive, the president. I don't know what the fuck. He was the state chief, and so because of that, he's sitting next to him. And Obama does the same thing. And both times he said, I think maybe I'm misremembering, but at least the second time I know he said, this is not a stunt. Can I get a glass of water? This is not a stunt. He fucking said this is not a stunt. You don't say that.
I think it's just the last name Snyder, because you think you got, was it Rick Snyder?
Yeah.
You got Dan Snyder.
Yeah.
You got Rob Schneider. Just horrible people in general.
It's a cursed name, yeah. The cursed name. It was Snyder. Yeah, it's just there's some other curse names out there. I feel like Karen's a curse name for sure. Yeah. Karen goes all the way. Karen's one of those names, if you're born as Karen now, you're just fucked. It's never going to change. You'll always be known as that. There's not too many names that are that bad.
If you're coming out born as Karen now, your parents knew what they were doing.
Exactly.
They knew what they were doing,
yeah.
And you deserve that. So
I feel like Susan's a kind of cursed name. I mean, Susan's went the wrong way a couple times.
The way the year's been going, Miguel is a cursed name.
Miguel.
The way this country's been, Carlos is a cursed name.
Yeah, there's some more. The list grows.
Susana is the cursed name.
So, how do you end up in comedy, sir? How does that happen? What is the story? The story was teased to me beforehand, folks.
So, long story short, I used to make memes online in 2000 and I was a high schooler, so 2015. I was a senior in high school. I had a Facebook page that had hella traction, and I just had memes going viral, and then they changed the guidelines And next thing you know, my shit started getting like retroactively banned for stuff I had already put out like a year ago.
Okay.
And they just gave me enough bans to where I wasn't allowed to post for like an entire year. And so it really just destroyed my confidence. That was in like 2016. And then some time went by, like maybe 3 years, 4 years, and I grew up in Ohio and shit, Columbus. And then I moved from Columbus to San Diego. And then at that time, I was working with this dude, and he always said he was a comic. Everyone knew him as a comedian, but I never saw him do comedy. So you get a lot of those in this industry.
Yeah.
So then
that's like that with rappers too.
Yeah.
It's the same.
Yeah.
Like, bro, I'm a rapper. All right. You got anything I can see anywhere?
Or just like 2 words that rhyme, anything?
Yeah. Can you rap now? Like, nothing, dude.
So he took me to an open mic. I asked him like, yo, show me how you do comedy, like, or just take me to the show. And he showed me how to do open mic. And he signed up for it, and then he ended up getting kicked out for heckling before he even got on stage. And he got us both kicked out. And this is at the Madhouse Comedy Club in San Diego in 2019, April 2019. And then I went back the next day and just did my first open mic, and I never looked back.
Yeah. And how'd that first open mic go? Well,
I mean, it was nerve-wracking, but I have a basic understanding of comedy. I would like to think, I've always kind of been funny. And then I had memes getting, 500,000 shares, 200,000 shares on Facebook before I ever like decided to write a joke. So I have like at least comedic timing understanding, shit like that, like the basics.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just kept trying,
So how much of that like social media experience do you think carried over then? Like, what things do you think like worked on stage that you learned from that?
Nothing, but I do
Nothing at all.
No, not really. I just the basics of writing a joke were there. Like the basics of like
misdirection,
restoration, or even just saying something that most people wouldn't say is like half the battle. Is like having the fucking nuts to say it. So I think that was it, really. And but I didn't really learn the social media stuff until after I'd already started stand up.
And like the years of all this, when was this exactly? Like how long ago?
I started in April 2019, and it is now February 2025. So we're going on 6 years pretty soon here.
Do you still go back and look at all those old skits and all that? Do you hate them now, or
I hate
do you
them.
still like them?
I hate them because I didn't have the production quality I want.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I was still writing shit. Like, but the first time I ever made a skit was like during the pandemic. So I was just kind of like thrown into it like everyone else. I wasn't even like thinking about writing skits at the time. But after that, yeah, I look back at them sometimes. I'm like, yeah, this is fucking terrible. Or like when I try to show people, like, yo, look at this, got 30,000 views, and I show them, and it's like so bad. And I was like thinking, like, oh wait, 30,000 people saw this. Fuck, I should take this down. But I don't. I never will.
Yeah, I mean, oh man, it's interesting too, just because even the way that all that stuff ages on social media, like what was okay to do 3 years ago is like it would be considered cringy and weird now, and you just going with that. You were saying before you want to do like original stuff. I think like that's what happens when you do real original things. Like if you can really, it's kind of like what it makes a great director. If you look at film, a great artist, is that you think creatively. You don't go with trends and you kind of just follow your own. And I think that's where the real creativity is.
I agree.
Or if you are following those trends, if you find a way to like use that as like a springboard for your own idea. Some people are really good at like having creative takes on trends somehow. Like, there's ways to do it.
And I think I'm in that boat a little bit. Like, not everything I've ever done is the most creative. Sometimes I saw something, like reaction videos. Like I've done some reaction type stuff, or I put my own spin on it. Like I like to have the video play, and then I'll like react in the middle, and then like go back to the video, and then react in the, like just show my reaction while the audio is still playing on the video, stuff like that.
What do you mean? Like as opposed to a normal reaction video?
Where they just completely stop the video, and you see them talk for a little bit, and then like the video still play, and then it'll just be me looking like, I don't know about that one. But stuff like that, I don't want to. I still like throw my little creative style on there, but. Yeah, man. I mean, you just kind of got to get out and do it. You know, I think that's half the battle is just trying shit. You don't know you're creative until you created. So
yeah, well, and like real creativity is kind of risky too. Like if you're going to take chances and be creative, naturally, like, not everything's gonna work.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, one thing I try to think about is, like, you know, when you think of, like, super popular ideas, like there was something I read in a book. It was like Einstein had published 450 papers, but the one everybody knows is like the 214th.
Theory of relativity or whatever.
Yeah. And it's just complete. You don't know what people remember. You don't know what the best thing is.
And it's never, when I'm working on it, in my experience, when I'm working on it, it's the one that I never expected. It's the one that blows up.
Yep.
Every fucking
That's
time.
how it is for me as well.
Or the one I didn't put that much effort into. They're like, that one was natural. I'm like, yeah, because I didn't try. Yeah. I guess you could say it's natural, but I would say I didn't try.
At a certain point, if you're not trying, but you're somehow amazing the people, well, that's got to mean something, right? I mean, that means that you're doing something without even trying. You just dazzle them without even trying. You're going viral, boys and girls. I mean, that is blowing minds. Wouldn't you say? You're blowing the people's minds and you're not even trying to do it. And I feel like if you're not even trying to do that and that's happening, then it's something you're very, very, very well attuned at, well attuned to. You're very well attuned to being a mind blower. You might as well call yourself a professional mind blower. Wicka, wicka, what? We got t-shirts, folks. We got smalls, we got mediums, we got larges, and we can make more sizes if that is what you need. I'm telling you, we got it right here for you, and we can provide it to you. You go to the link in that description for more information about that. It's a great way for you to support the show. It's a great way for you to start a conversation and to let the people know that you are a professional mind blower, blowing their minds without even trying. Now, say you want to support this show, but you don't want to do what I just said. You don't want to get a t-shirt. You're not into all that. Well, don't you worry about it, folks, because I'll make it super easy for you. You just go to Patreon and you pay $5 a month, the price of a coffee, the price of a beer at the bar, the price of a you're going to park in the city. It's cheaper than that. It's cheaper than if you had to go park your car in a city. It's cheaper than doing that. And you only have to do it once a month, and it makes this show happen. If you like what's happening here and you want me to know you like what's happening here and you want the world to know and you want this thing to grow, well, then that's how you help that go down. Patreon. We got exclusive content on there. We've got songs, my songs, Ruse's songs. They're coming out early on Patreon, and there's also exclusive songs that only exist on there. Pretty freaking crazy. All kinds of stuff going down. Another thing going down, if you're watching this episode right as it's airing a couple days after it airs, before March 15th, 2025, you still got a chance to see me live at Tim Perez and Friends' show, St. Patty's Day Massacre. That's right, Tim Perez, friend of the show, and it is Tim Perez and Friends show. That is true. And it is Tim Perez and Friends. I am one of Friends. That's right. You can catch me on stage on March 15th. You can get tickets now. Link in that description. Again, pretty freaking awesome way to support. I mean, isn't that what it's all about? Don't you want to see this guy go down? Don't you want to see this thing happen? That's what I would want to see if I were you. Also, I'll be performing songs live that just came out, such as Mr. Whole Time, Go, Flow, What? That's all true. You can hear those songs now on streaming services, but you can hear them live on March 15th. And not only that, if you're watching this episode after that happened, you can see me live all the freaking time. Just go find me on social media. I appreciate you guys for supporting me. I appreciate you guys for supporting the show. Appreciate everybody who helps this show happen, including these guests. Speaking of them, I think I got a question for Mr. Demetrius.
Yeah, with the videos you've had go viral, what were they?
Like, one was a reaction where, like, a guy, like, basically, this one got 1 million views on TikTok. Like, the guy tried to open the door to a Subway right before it closed, and then he, like, ran around to the back and went through the door. And I just did, like, a reaction to it where I was like, oh, whatever you do, don't try that at Popeyes. Like, if you value your life, nigga, do not do this at Popeyes. Like, simple shit where it's like, I wouldn't even count that as, like, the most creative, but it gets the most views. I did that shit in 2 seconds, bro. Like, it was my initial reaction, you know? That's why I think reaction videos do hit, because it's like, there is no writing, there is no preparation. This is just, I saw it, I pushed the button, I said, this is what I think about it, you know?
Yeah.
And I think there is a little bit of beauty to that. So.
Yeah, I mean, that's honestly, that's how I try to look at podcasting even. That's why I try to keep it as, like, Because I've learned that like the more constraints you put on something, the less and less you get that like free flowing creativity we're talking about.
And if
like
you do that over a long period of time, it's almost diminishing returns. It's like, why even do it?
What do you mean by that?
Like why make this content if you're not gonna make it for what you think is funny or what you think is good?
Yeah.
Why are you making it if you're just gonna make what you think is gonna go viral? Don't make that.
Yeah, because over time that just becomes like
you spent 2 years of your life, 3 years of your life chasing something that realistically probably is not going to happen.
I mean, for most people, it's just statistically impossible.
Because the only time I've ever went viral is when we weren't trying. I swear to God, bro. Every time. And I'm not saying that, like, don't try. Like, I don't know anything. You know, I'm not famous right now. But every time I've gotten close to 1 million views, it's because I was, like, just having a good time. And just being myself.
With like the reaction, what was the other thing?
We did a skit where it was basically like, it was during the Coastal Comedy days when we were all doing skits during the pandemic, and it was like, my friend, he's a black guy, walks in, he's like, yo, what's up, my nigga? And then I walk in, I'm like, what's up, my nig? And I'm half black. And then the other guy walks in, he's like, yo, what's up, my? And he's white. He's like, what's up, my? And then like there's like this horror music that we put behind it. And like everybody who had just walked in is like looking at him real mean. And then like even the guy who's about to get dapped up, he's like, is he really gonna say it? And he's like, my neighbor, I just came from next door. Like, stupid, but we were just having a good time, you know.
And how many views is on that?
I think it's like 750K.
Yeah,
like something like that, you know.
You gotta love it.
You know what I mean? But it was just having a good time. I wasn't thinking about it, but every other fucking video I pretty much put out, we were thinking about it, you know? It's hard not to.
Well, yeah, and like you want it. See, what's maddening about it is every time you're like, I put so much thought into this. I really did try on this one. I think this is gonna be the fucking thing, and it never is.
Because the audience doesn't know that or care, realistically, care.
And like in the end, like I think about it, it's. Like the people who are really like, I think Mr. Beast, he's done plenty of interviews where he said like, you just have to make a shit ton of content. And like, I don't know if other people have said that, but that is the right advice to say. Like you just have to make so much that it becomes second nature to make stuff like that. Because like, it's never going to be the first, if you go back and watch the first like videos you tried to make, like, I mean, with like you said, with your original content, it's like just even the production value alone. You look at that.
So low compared to what I'm trying to do now. But also, a lot of those early sketches that I do show are proofs of concept.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And that's how I see it now. Like, because now I'm working with somebody who I don't want to put too much out there, but he's pretty good in the Chicago scene. He works in like the sports industry. Ooh. But he wants to produce 5 sketches. We've already got a deal worked out. And he wants to produce 5 of the sketches that I wrote. And we met through basically Second City and like stuff like that. And like that circuit of like, improv / comedic acting type of thing. But he asked if I had done any other sketches, and I showed him some of mine, and he was like, yeah, these are shitty, but it's the production. It's not the jokes. I think the jokes are funny. I think what you're trying to do is funny, and he fucked with it. So I think if nothing else, they're proofs of concept that you can have an idea, put the production in there, do the casting, the editing, the shooting, and then put it out, even if it only got 200 views.
Yeah.
People still want to see that you did everything required to make it happen.
Yeah. Even to yourself, even to know that you're capable of putting something like that together.
Right.
Like, even if you don't think it's perfect.
Because we did like 70 sketches.
Damn.
But we just took a bunch down. We took most of them down that we just thought sucked because we tried to put one out every week for 2 years.
Not bad. 70, that's not bad at all. For weekly, you were doing that?
Yeah. And 3 to 5 minute sketches.
How does that, like, was it like a writer's room type deal?
We weren't able to do stand up, but we wanted to have an outlet.
Yeah.
So we would meet up on Sunday, Monday, start doing the shot list by Tuesday. Like everybody would have an idea. They'd pitch the idea. We'd be like, that's funny. Write the script out. Send it to everybody. Then Tuesday we'll start with the shot list and like try to like, what are we going to shoot with? What props are we going to use? Where are we going to be at? And then finally on Wednesday we'll send the script to the actors. And then we would try to shoot by Friday. And then Friday, Saturday, edit it up. And I mean, it was a 3 to 5 minute sketch. If you stay up all night, you can get it done, bro.
Yeah.
We would just stay up and we would drink fucking Hennessy and sweet tea, Hennessy and grape juice, like Hennessy and fucking anything but Coke. Dr. Root beer, like I just not Coke. We would just like mess with each other. Just anything but Coke. My friend, I would drink Hennessy. My friend drank gin, and we would just stay up all night drinking and smoking. Like everybody would bring weed over, and like it would be like a cool. Like we worked early on in the week, so now we can kind of chill. And then in that time, you know, like the actors would still be around and stuff, so they can kind of be like, oh, why don't you edit it like this? Oh, why don't you put this spin on there? Why don't you, you know what I mean? And like me and my boy Jesse would just edit up the videos.
There was never like a time where there was like a stall in the process. It just worked.
Yeah, sometimes there was stalls. There was, you know, some weeks where the main actor would show up late, or fucking the equipment wasn't working properly, or we shot a whole bunch of stuff and the mic wasn't on. Stupid stuff, you know, that we would, you know, we'd have to work around it, but we tried really, really hard to put out something every week. And people were watching, like, at the time. You know, people were checking it out.
There was like a growing following that happened with that?
There was a decent little following. I mean, not super crazy. I think I'm at like 500 subscribers on YouTube, but we haven't posted in forever. But 500 subs on YouTube. My Instagram would just get a lot of traction. Like to this day, my Instagram gets a lot of interactions, even though I only have like 500 or 5,000 subs or 5,000 followers.
Those same videos? Is it those ones?
Not those videos, but just everything I put out. Like they'll still comment. Like I got a lot of this following from the Coastal Comedy days because all of us collabed and would put it all. We would blast it everywhere. And like in the San Diego comedy scene, we were the only people doing sketches. So like, you know, we would eventually, through doing so many sketches, we would work with other comics, and then we started moving into LA and Palm Springs and getting those comics in, and it just became a thing, you know, for a little bit of a time.
Interesting.
And it wasn't like the big, like these people didn't have to subscribe. Like I always say, you know, people can be in your views and not in your likes. Like people can see shit all the time and not actually like it, comment, or whatever, but they saw it.
Oh yeah, I mean, even with like just like Facebook posts, like you'll post it on Facebook and it'll get 2 likes, and you think nobody saw it.
But then, you know, your mom brings it up in dinner. Hey, honey, you doing okay? You know, you said I face my blunts, not my problems. You doing okay? You know what I mean?
Yeah, Mom, I'm fine.
I'm fine, but it only got 1 like, 2 likes. But everybody saw it, you know? So, like, I try not to even think about, like, the likes and shit. Even though I do get a decent amount sometimes, I try not to even think about that, bro. I just, like, put out shit because I know people will see it eventually if I blast it enough.
That's a good point, yeah. Like, don't even actually pay attention to that because people... And, like, so much of even just people, like, you know... sharing it doesn't tell you who they shared it to. Like there's so much information you don't really know, like what people are saying, even when they don't even when they see it, like the things people say behind your back. Like if you were popular, you have no concept if you have a growing popularity. For one thing, your follower count doesn't mean anything when it comes to like word of mouth. It actually doesn't mean anything. It's like the amount of people talking about you is going to be completely different. Like, I mean, again, with Mr. Beast, I think he said this on the same interview I mentioned the last thing from. I think it was on his Lex Friedman interview. But he said that your follower count is kind of a vanity number. Like, all of that's kind of a vanity number. What really matters is the views. Yeah. And that's the same thing, really.
That's what I've learned, you know, because I'll get like, you know, 200 likes, but then I got 8,000 views. So I'm like, oh, but people saw this. People shared it. I got sometimes I'll get like 100 shares on a fucking post. Yep. And I'm like, wow, like that's kind of crazy to think that 100 people saw this and like shared it with their friends, you know, or shared it to their story. Like I have a homegirl, Tatiana. She's in my city, and you know, we've done collabs together. We've done content together, but like we went to school together, like 7th to 8th grade type shit, and yeah, she was like in the club one day or at a party, and somehow, some way, my name got brought up, and they were just like, "Oh, you know Meech, the nigga who think he's funny, but he really, or the nigga who's trying to be a comedian, but he not funny." And she just looked at him like, "Bro, don't be talking about my friend like that. Like you kind of tripping." And she's big. She got like 300,000, you know, followers. Yeah. And she even put it on her story, like, "Yo, they talking about you," and tagged me in it on some random, like I was asleep, bro, on like a Saturday night one day. You know what I mean? Like at a party, niggas is hating on me. So like, what you saying? Like, bro, I swear, like, don't even think about the likes and all that no more, bro. Just run your views up, bro.
Yeah. And the greatest advertisement is word of mouth. I mean, even when people are saying negative things, it's still spreading that around there.
I don't care, you know, because now what is he saying? The guy who thinks he's a comedian, but he's not funny. Bro, we've been laughing this whole time. We chilling. Like, I swear, if we was in the same room together, we would be laughing and having a good time, bro. Yeah. So, like, I don't really even think about that shit, you know? Yeah. It's more about just like, yo, but you still talking. You still know who I am, you know what I mean?
And all you can do is just be better what you're doing anyway. Like, who gives a fuck what people are saying truly? Like if you just keep getting better, like fucking 70 skits, dude, that's a lot. Like making those over and over and over again, like teaches you that lesson. It doesn't matter what the fucking people say. It just matters that you make another one and keep
editing
going.
in the dark with the fucking computer light in your face, you know, just like that's the only light in the room. Everyone else has fell asleep. Yeah, I've been there, bro.
He's having flashbacks.
Yeah, I'm having Warzone flashbacks.
The trenches.
It was tough. It was tough. So,
Fucking bottles everywhere.
yeah. Just like Nam.
Bottles and bodies, dude, literally. And everybody's just grounded and you're just laying down with your legs inoperative. You can't move your legs anymore.
Headphone in for the audio.
Yeah, dude. But I mean, like, that is, it really is, like, I think it's valuable to see what people say, but I think truly, like, if it affects you, it probably only affects you because, like, there's a grain of truth in it. Like, if you're looking at comments and it actually fucking bothers you, there must be something in it that bothers you that's real.
He probably saw one of the old Coastal Comedy sketches.
Yeah.
He probably saw when I wasn't funny. Like, that's my thing. I don't even think he's not telling the truth.
Yeah.
I think he might have thought I wasn't funny. But at the same time, it's like he still knows who I am. He still checks out my shit. You know, that's why I'm not tripping on it. That's why I take it all as a grain of salt. Like you're saying, like, bro, as long as you know that I'm trying to be a comedian, that's all that really matters to me.
Yeah.
You know? Because I don't really find a whole bunch of comedians funny either, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like, I think being a funny comedian is rare these days.
What do you think it takes to be a funny comedian then?
Me personally, I like to try to push the line, talk about things that you're not allowed to talk about. Like, I'll open a joke with, like, mass deportations, you know? Like, I try to start with the exact thing I want to cover. That thing that you're not trying to talk about, that's exactly what I want to start with. You know, that's kind of like how I do it personally. But I think what it takes to actually be a funny comedian is, being willing to push the boundary and say things that you're not allowed to talk about. Like, talk about those issues. Don't just be on the sidelines about the stuff that, like, really matters. But it doesn't have to be political either, you know? Like, it could be race. It could be, you know, it could be your sex life, you know, like porn sites and the ads before porn. It could be whatever. But, like, you got to talk about things that are actually going on in people's lives or actually going on in your life, in my opinion, and, like, not just the surface level stuff. You got to get deeper than that.
Yeah, you got to be, like, real with them in a way. I mean, I think that's the tragedy of all. Like, it's the same thing with rap. It's the same thing with comedy. Like, you'll see it at an open mic just like you see it if you try to. That's one reason I don't even like saying I'm a rapper, because, like, if you look at what people are doing with rap, most of it is not that. They're not embracing like what they're feeling and trying to be creative and make something original. They're just trying to do what they think a rapper is supposed to do. And it's, you see the same thing in comedy, like where people don't really have like an original take on a topic. They're just trying to do the thing, like, do that misdirection and get you, and then, oh, look, I did a pun, or oh, look, there's not much actual thought that's creative in it.
And it's tough because it's like, I don't want you to not have, I want it to get better. I think just the society in general is moving towards like a less critically thinking society.
I fear the same, my friend. Like, I fear the same. I like to think I'm ahead of my time when it comes to that, though. I like to think it's actually going to turn back around, and it won't stay that way. Like, if we are correct and we are not just super egotistical assholes, right? If we're right that we are the riders in the storm here, it's up to us to fix it.
Like, that's what I'm trying to, and that's why I do stand-up.
Exactly.
I'm like, the first time I ever did stand-up comedy, all I could think was, I'm just as funny, if not funnier, than these guys.
And that's the correct way to think, though. Like, that's the winning way to think.
Like, I think that's what most people... I heard a quote that said something like that. Like, there's only two reasons to get into comedy, and it's because you think you're funnier than everyone else, or because you think, you know, whatever. I don't remember. But that's one of them, is that you think you're funnier than other people.
Yeah.
So you get into comedy. And I think that was my push. It was like, well, I already had 200,000 shares on Facebook, and, like, all I got to do is sit down and try, you know?
Yeah.
Like, there's no way. Like, from what I just saw, that Bomb Fest, you know, there's no way I can't contribute.
But, like, there's also the opposite of that. Like, do you ever go to, like, a show where everybody's just killing? Like, and you're like, damn, like...
I got to get better.
I got to get better, exactly.
That's where you should be.
Yeah.
You should always be around, even at an open mic. Like, there's good open mics in town, you know? So
There's open mics where people regularly
are doing pretty good, you know, or like.
What would those open mics be?
I mean, it really depends. But I like Cole's Bar. I like Red Room sometimes. The Comedy Bar, Laugh Factory. You know, the good mics in town where it's hard. Not everybody gets on. Not everybody gets a chance to fucking to go up every week. You know, you have to earn that, and then there's some where you should sign up and that's it. You know, so it's fine. Like it's just different tiers.
Yeah.
Of whatever. It's like going to a fucking restaurant. Not everybody can afford to eat Gordon Ramsay burger. You're still at the Whataburger stage, and that's fine. Everybody eats. Like there's still stage time pretty much for everybody. It's just different levels, you know. I think if you're consistently working at it, you'll progress. Like I don't think stand up is one of those things where you just can't progress. You know, I think it's really tough on people, and they don't do what it takes.
Yeah, and people are different too. Like some people don't have the mentality to do what it takes even. Like they just don't. Like you talk to them and like they're actually content with not doing what it takes.
Right.
They don't even want to.
And that's the thing about like the creative thing that we were talking about earlier, you know, like you have to kind of you have to have something to say.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel that way. See, that's what I worry about is I just sound like some old man who like is wrong deep down.
Right.
I'm actually wrong, and it's not like that.
Yeah.
But when I look at things that aren't that, it almost saddens me. Like it's like, dude, this could be so much more.
Right,
Like
right.
I think it does a disservice to the art form itself. Like I truly do, because people will look at comedy and they think that's what comedy is. People will look at music and they think that's what music is, and it's like it could be. I feel that way about a lot of filmmaking now too. Like filmmaking is so much fucking different.
Even video games, everything.
Oh my god, don't even get me started, dude.
I feel like video games is the same thing.
It's
like,
all the same, and that's what's so terrifying about
There's
it.
very few things now that are as good as they really could be.
Mm-hmm. And it's all, when you like look at it and you think about it, like it's all just because everything has become something where either it's about making money and it's about just making the fastest possible thing for the least amount of money possible. Like at least with gaming, that's 100% what it is. I mean, that's how
I'm sure with music it's probably similar too.
yeah.
Definitely with comedy, because that shit, there ain't no money in comedy. So
No.
everything's on the cheap.
But you got that. And then also just everybody has everything everywhere all the time. And so I think that actually has lowered the bar somehow, because anybody can put anything anywhere all
and
the
it can
time.
go viral.
Yep.
Like, bro, I met Ralph Barbosa when he had 100,000 followers, dog. And he had just did Don't Tell. And we were just smoking weed outside of this little like hookah bar in downtown San Diego. Like,
yeah.
You know, he was just a regular guy. He was super cool, super humble. Like I like Ralph, you know, follow me on Instagram, like cool guy. And then next thing you know, and I'm not hating on him, but you know, like he just had some clips go viral on Don't Tell. Go pretty viral. Netflix special, homie chilling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Homie chilling. Like it's just like it happened that fast. Like I swear to God. It's like we were smoking a blunt like 6 months ago, and now you're on Netflix. Like that happened so fast. Like
yeah, that's what it always is, dude. It's crazy.
And I love Ralph. Like he's the homie. Like it's crazy. You know?
How long? When did he like blow up? When was that then?
This was like 2022.
Yeah, dude, that is wild. I mean, there's a few people that just random. I mean, that's always what it is. It's always just a couple clips now. It's like random shit like that. It just takes like one random clip. It's cool. Do these comedy clubs, do they post the clips and like tag people in them? Is that what a lot of them are doing?
Yeah, he got
it's cool they do that.
Viral from Don't Tell comedy.
And they were posting the clips for him essentially.
They posted a clip of some stand-up he was doing, but none of them were like famous at the time.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Oh, so that even blew them up a little bit.
Exactly, it blew them up at the same time.
Wow.
Because now you see all these Don't Tell shows all over the place, but I remember just seeing Don't Tell comedy and like Ralph Barbosa was like the face of it, or at least the number one video that I saw. Like his shit got like 10, 20, 30 million, like crazy numbers on his stand-up.
On Instagram?
Everywhere.
All over.
Everywhere.
Wow.
He's the homie.
How many followers do you have now? How big is he now?
I'm sure he's got like 1 million followers, but he's got a Netflix special, and he's like my age. So,
Yeah.
like I would say he's up there in my eyes. Like I would say that's what I would like want to get up to eventually.
Yeah. That's so fast. Wow, that's crazy. Damn, bruh. How old is he? How old are you?
I'm 28.
Yeah, you're only a year older than me. Yeah. Damn, bro. Wow. Fuck, dude. Because I'm thinking about it, like, that's still, usually it's more gradual than that. Usually it's a slow climb to, I'm trying to think like Shane Gillis even. If I'm trying to compare it to like someone like Shane Gillis, he got really popular off the SNL thing, but even before that, he was pretty popular already. Like, people don't blow up overnight usually, like
Right.
couple months.
Like, it was so fast.
Yeah.
So fast. But it was like, that's the homie. That's what I want to do that too. Let's do it. You know, I'm down for that.
But again, like, it's probably that same thing where he wasn't trying to go viral. He was just doing comedy, the best comedy he could do, and that's what happened, right?
Right. Of course. Of course.
Yeah.
Like, everyone starts out doing that. That's the thing about stand-up. Everyone starts out just doing the best they can because that's all you can do.
Right.
And then eventually you start getting amazing. You start getting good, you know? They say it takes 10 years. Like, I feel like I really didn't start getting my funny jokes or, like, good sets until like maybe 4 years in, honestly.
Yeah.
And then like even now at the 6-year mark, I'm like watching the set, like that was my best set. Now, you know, in Chicago, like I just had one at the Lincoln Lodge where I was telling my girl, like, okay, I'm gonna use that one as like my clip, you know, like I'm just now getting there.
Really?
At the 6-year mark where I'm saying like, yeah, like I would show that to my mom, or I'd show that to my dad, or I'd show that to a booker, or I'd show that to an agent. Like that was the 5 right there. That's solid.
You weren't thinking that same thing though, like 4 years in, 3 years
I thought
in?
it, but it wasn't true. Now I'm like, okay, that's the one. You know what I mean? You just know sometimes. Like, you know, when you make music,
Yes.
a rapper has like the single where you're like, no. This is the one.
Well,
you know?
I would say the same thing where I actually think it's the same with music. Like, I think most of the time, your first few years, you suck. Even though you think you're doing good, you're actually bad.
I made music, bro.
Oh, you do?
I did make music. No. I
did?
did. Before I did comedy, between the Facebook and stand-up, I had a mixtape.
Rap?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I scrubbed it, but I still, I got it.
What kind of rap were you making?
I was doing the uninspired shit that you hate. Yeah, I was doing that.
I don't blame you.
But,
you gotta get that bag, bro. I mean,
I was uninspired. I was uninspired. You know, I didn't have a musical background. I was like, man, I'm trying to get a bag. I'm 19. I'm trying to, you know what I mean?
that's how it happens.
Yeah.
Exactly
Like
how it
everything that you described, I did. And then at the end of the mixtape process, I was like, never again. Never again.
This is not who I am.
It was embarrassed. Like, I just wasn't proud of it. And yeah, I just was like, no, this ain't it. It's not natural.
Yeah.
Because I had just did the memes and shit. And I was like, no, that was natural. I was having fun. I smiled when I did that. I never smiled when I made music, bro.
What was your rap name?
Just Demetrius.
I just kept
Just
it.
Demetrius Christmas. Yeah, I didn't really.
That works.
Well, Demetrius L. Jackson.
Ooh.
Because that's always been my like alias. Because I've always kind of been hiding online. I was hiding from my mom originally. And then now, like, I actually got fired for a joke once. Because the joke, I did it, you know, AD, like No Jumper? Mm-hmm. So I did a video with AD from No Jumper. And my boss saw it. And the joke was something like, I feel like, I hate when white people try to tell us black folk when we can and cannot say nigga. You know, like I feel like I should be able to say nigga at the workplace. I mean, it's kind of where you invented it, you know? Like, this is your idea. That was like the joke.
Okay.
In a nutshell. I performed a lot better, but I haven't told that joke in fucking 3 years. But anyway, that was
He's funny,
the
he
joke.
promises. This guy is funny. Okay,
Thank you.
don't lose faith right now.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Because it bombed on the show. It bombed to my boss.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah,
I
and
could
then
see that.
They pulled me in the office and fired me for that shit.
I see. That's wild because I had one other person, Matt Bowe. He told me he goes by Matt Bowe because a friend posted a clip of him, and it was like it got a lot of views, and he's trying to get hired, and so he didn't want potential employers to be looking him up and seeing him talking about black people or whatever it was.
So that's why I go by Demetrius L. Jackson.
Well,
Because
it'd be like that. Yeah, it's like a secret hiding name. I mean, that I don't know if that's why. I think rappers just do it to be cool. You know, you're kind of
I do
stealing
it to
from
be
us.
employed. Yeah,
Right.
I have no choice. Some of the shit I say will get me fucking fired.
It's just sad because like I'm surprised they don't. I guess the right workplace would be cool. It just depends. Like you're trying to work. Where was the
anywhere that
workplace? Where was
pays
it?
A living wage is not going to be cool with it though.
Yeah, like Chase Bank.
I got jokes about like how Chili's is the best place to do a mass shooting. You know, like, it's just not.
Yeah.
It's not good.
It doesn't work out.
It doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, like, you never worry. Do you ever think about that? Like, oh, maybe one day I'll blow up and they're going to go back and look at some shit I said. And, like, because you're bound, if you're saying shit like that, you're bound to have, you've said one thing that's probably, like, enough of an offense, right? Like,
Shit,
do you ever
I
think
think-
about that?
I think that would be the best case scenario because that means I'm more famous than I am now. So fuck it.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I don't care.
Yeah, I think that was a show a lot.
I
I'm like,
think
I've said a
that's-
lot of dumb things. But
That's
it's
what
probably
I
a good-
want. Like I don't. I've said so many crazy things. I started with the mass shooting joke at Chili's. Like.
That was your origin story?
Or like that's where you saw me. You know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah.
what I'm doing right now. So if you're just now discovering me at the like right now, it's only up from here. I mean, that means I did pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, I think all press is good press, truly. I mean, Kanye is the prime example. I mean, we're fresh off of a brand new Kanye. I haven't been you kept up with his tweets? I didn't keep up with these. Maybe you can inform me.
I heard something about him, but I would never repeat any of these tweets. So we can just that nigga's tripping. I don't know nothing about that one, bruh.
Oh, dude, Kanye is like, he's just one of my favorite like pop culture things to watch happen because it's just crazy how it escalates continuously.
But
There's
that's like
no-
watching a train wreck, though.
What
Like,
makes me sad is now I think he's on drugs. Now I'm pretty sure they got him all drugged up. Like
yeah,
truly
the
drugged
drug
up.
is fame and money.
No, but there's like this whole thing with like his whoever his doctor is was giving him what's the breathing gas, like the laughing gas. What's the technical term for it?
I think it's laughing gas.
Like laughing gas, but it's like it's shit that people inhale. I forget what the fuck. They don't call it laughing.
whip
gas.
it.
Not whip it though. He's off the. He's because there's a video where he's saying he's off the something. Off
the metrophenol. I don't know.
We'll call it the metro fentanyl. Yeah.
the metrophenol.
So he's fucking off that shit, and I don't know how much of it's conspiracy and how much of it's real, but people are saying like that's why his Vultures album is rushed and all of this, and that's why Kanye's been. Because Kanye's confusing, dude. He'll say, like, he was, like, denouncing porn, like, 3 years ago, and now he's got this girl walking around with her tits out. I'm really confused. I want to love Kanye so bad. I'm one of those people. I'm like, bro, but graduation, dude, but Kanye. And in Chicago, you probably see a whole lot of that. You see it all over the place.
I think he just got too much money, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I think some people just can't handle that much money, bro.
Probably.
I just don't think he really... I don't think he's on drugs. I think he's just fucking a genius and he's crazy because of that, you know? Like, his music is good to this day. It's still better than most of the music we hear. Like, the rap that you're going to hear. Kanye's still up there. Like, he just topped the Billboard with Carnival with his last album. Like, bro, he's like 20-something years in the game at this point. Like, I've been listening to this dude since I was literally in, like, second grade, you know? So I just think he's insane. He's gifted, but he's insane. And he's had too much success and too much money. And now he's trying anything possible to keep our attention. And unfortunately, we're seeing the side effects of all that. You know?
Yeah, because it only can escalate. He only can, like, continue to try and top himself in order to continue getting our
And
attention.
that girl is going to sue him one day. Like, there's no way she doesn't sue him one day. Like,
Yeah.
It's going to be... Like, bruh, he's damn near walking her on a leash. Like, I don't know. It's just weird. Like,
I'm just so confused. Like, I don't understand because I thought the whole Kanye philosophy was like the God thing, and I'm a man of God, and I denounce all that. And so now I don't even understand. Like, what is he supposed to be saying? I don't even know what it is.
that's why I'm saying he's just crazy, bro. I just think he's fucking crazy. Like, I think it was Chris Rock said it. Like, whatever happened to crazy? Why can't a motherfucker just be crazy no more, bro? Like, he's just not right. Something about that guy is he's not maintaining homeostasis, bro. Like, he needs to revert back to a different state of being. Like, that's all. He's had too much success, too much money for too long.
Yeah, it probably has gotten to his head. And the thing is, like, if you ever meet somebody who's like actually like schizophrenic or like has mental breaks, like it's the same exact pattern as someone like Kanye. They're cool for a while, and then all of a sudden they break, and it's this big manic phase they go through, and it's hard to. You feel bad for them, but it's a cycle.
Any black dude who gets on the track and says, "Come fuck with my wife with me, bro," he's not regular, bro. He's not. He needs medication now.
You never want to be saying that. You never want to cuck yourself out in a rap song.
Not on the track.
Not on the track, dude. Anywhere else.
Even white dudes don't say that.
No, trust me. All right, we know the rules. That's one of them.
You know the rules. You would never do no shit like that.
You just don't do that. It's actually an offense, you know.
Come fuck my wife with me, bro. Like, come on. Nah.
Yeah, I don't know. That's some gay shit right there. You can't say that on a song. You can't do
well,
that.
In Kanye's defense, it was a freestyle. So maybe he was just, first thing that came to mind. But
yeah, top of the mind.
That's
That makes it worse.
It's not.
That actually makes it worse. That means it was a lingering thought.
Yeah. Like you can't be mid freestyle looking man in the eye and be like, "Come fuck my wife with me." Nigga, what?
What'd you say? Oh man. Well, Kanye said it best. I miss the old Kanye. Yeah. He really did say it best. And he said that a while ago. That's what's so crazy. He actually said
the
that.
Sad part.
Yeah.
He's on some real sunken place shit right now. Like, that nigga's deep.
Yeah, he's deep. Oh man. But yeah, you can't. At the same time, it's a beautiful train wreck. It's not ending. We still got it going on. You still got it going on. Kanye's not gonna. He left Twitter. That's the latest as we
got
record
kicked
this.
Off, though, right?
Did he? That's the question. I don't think it's actually. I think he said, "Thank you, Elon. Thanks for everything." Blah blah. Maybe like Elon, since they know each other. I'm guessing he like called.
Elon was like, "I'm not gonna kick you off, but you gotta go."
They came to an agreement.
You gotta go, or I'm gonna get Trump to pass an executive order, bitch.
I'm in charge now.
That nigga passes he passes executive orders every day, and I'd like to add one.
We have banned Kanye. No more yay. That's the new rule.
I don't know. I don't know what Trump would say.
That's a great impression.
That? Yeah.
Just that. Like, go to do a Trump impression, you just do the hands. You don't even speak. Gets the whole point
Kind of turns
across.
his head a little bit.
I think the average person, most people, I don't think they actually want to even give a fuck about any of that. They really don't. They
I want
just
to go
wanna...
back to not having to care about politics.
Yeah.
But I will say, Trump signs some new orders like every day, nigga. It's hard to keep up with this.
I know.
That shit sucks, bro.
What's the latest one? Do you know? I don't even know. I don't know what he signed last.
I just hope he signs the reparations executive order. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, you're only getting half, man.
You said I'll take it. They said how much in condoms to Gaza?
Yeah.
You can pay some reparations, bro. That's all I'm saying. Like y'all didn't. It was promised. That's all I'm saying. It was promised to the government. Like,
yeah. It's only right. It's only right. I think they'd fuck reparations up if they actually did it. I think it would get fucked up somehow.
We only need like 500 million, bro. Come on.
They would fuck that up. I'm telling you. They would give 500 million, but they'd scale it wrong.
500 billion. You guys.
Billion. Still, they would fuck it up. They would give 499 billion to like the richest black guys, and then just the last billion to everybody else.
No,
they would.
It's easy to prove if you can trace your lineage back to. I think they started keeping track of black people in like 1850.
Before that, they
didn't even keep track of them, right?
Yeah.
So if you can trace your lineage back to at least 1850, like your family tree,
okay,
then you should be entitled. It's very simple to find. If they can send 59 billion in condoms, they can pay some reps. I'm just saying, you guys. I feel like it's on the table.
Yeah.
With all this
Now's
money,
the time.
Now's the time.
Now's our moment.
Before he cuts all the government. Yo, Trump. You know damn well niggas need some reparations right about now, bro. You're not telling me that like all these tax dollars that we really gave to y'all. Come on, bro.
But don't you think the white people would be in an uproar? All the other races would be in an uproar. It would start a race war if you actually did reparations. I feel like all the racism would come right back out.
I
Like this
feel
would be the
like-
'60s all over again.
I feel like white folks don't know the real story behind reparations.
but that's exactly what I'm saying. They
like,
would be
if
all
they
mad
found
about
out what really happened, like, yo, they were promised, black people got freed, right? They were promised 40 acres and a mule. Like, reparations. That is the reparations. 40
Yeah.
acres and a mule, which equivalent to today's money would be like $3.5 million, bro. $10 million, whatever the number is. Like, it's a lot of fucking money. Like, not a little bit. I mean, obviously, 40 acres and a fucking mule.
Yeah.
Which is equivalent to like giving them a car too, but the mule is not actually part of it. So they were promised by the government, right? And then the next president comes in, before it can actually get paid out, the next president comes in, which would be like a Trump figure, and just signs it away and says, no, we're not giving it to you. We're actually giving it to the slave owners who lost their property. That's pretty fucking rough, my nigga.
Yeah, but so you'd have to prove that all those people who were gonna get that money, their relatives can now get that money.
They can claim it. And it's pretty simple. Like, if you can trace your ancestry back to 1850, which most black folks actually can,
Yeah, I imagine. Yeah.
that's pretty fucking reasonable, bro. It's a lot of money that they didn't get. And you gotta think, they were slaves. Like, they were slaves for the last fucking 300 years. You can't just free them and just be like, okay, go figure it out.
See, and I think like the reasonable argument too, because like one would then say,
But hold
well,
on, but what do you think? Oh, sorry.
well, I was gonna say like,
I knew you were literally gonna answer.
so yeah, pretty
I'm sorry,
much. Yeah.
I'm high.
I don't even have a solid opinion on whether it's something you should or shouldn't do. But I would say that like the counter argument to what you just said would be then, okay, but these people they didn't endure slavery.
Right.
Like these people that you're giving
Right.
the money to now
Right.
didn't
But
personally
what I would say to
experience
that is, you're only counting just slavery, not the actual. And this is why I say I'm partially I still have some liberal ideas.
Yeah.
You're not counting the actual the laws against black people all around the country that came even though slavery was ended, which still like prohibited them from buying houses in these nice areas.
Yeah.
Jim Crow laws, they could still, mass incarceration.
Well, that's what I was about to
They
say.
were tested on with drugs. There's
Yep.
still so many other things that led up to this point that it's a fucking given that they were taken advantage of
Yeah.
for so long. If you go to any black neighborhood right now, even the South Side of Chicago, it is obviously so different than any other part of the country for the most part that there is no way, if you are a human with a heart, you could say that they don't deserve something. I just can't. As a person who's half black, half white, I've seen both sides. I am, like I said, a critical thinker on most issues. I think that African Americans in America, at least, are owed reparations from America, not from white people.
Yeah,
from America,
the government itself. Yeah.
Yes. And if they can give $59 billion in condoms, they can give some reparations. I don't give a fuck.
You can even send us some condoms.
Even if it's just 100,000 each, but they measure it all the way up to like from $400,000 to, that's like the lowest number, 400K each,
Yeah.
to all the way up to like 3 million each. Because it's a lot of, they were promised a lot. I mean, bro, they were slaves for their whole lives up until that point. Like, that's crazy. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I was going to
generations.
say, like, the results of all of that would obviously put you in a position where it would affect you even now. Like that,
Exactly.
there's a reason you have that.
Right.
Basically, what you just said. There's a reason these communities are separate from
Right.
these other communities.
Right.
That's the response to the argument I just presented a second ago.
Instantly.
You said it for
Like,
me.
and I'm not trying to, it's just like, it's so obvious.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
You can't deny because it's relatively speaking, it's not even that long ago.
Right.
It's 300 years ago.
And not even that. long ago.
that.
Like redlining was going on in the 60s, 70s, 80s. Like you couldn't buy a house in these areas, or they
Yep.
would charge you double or triple, like just to keep you out. And that is not fair. And everyone here knows it. They charge them higher interest rates. Like when I was living in the hood in Ohio, I got a 20% interest rate on my first car. And when I just financed my most recent car in San Diego, I got a 4% interest rate. This shit is real, bro. It's not fake. Like
Yeah. And yeah.
And I had to pay every 2 weeks on my first car. They didn't trust me. Swear to God, 18-year-old in the hood, like I don't care. Like it's real. And I would say even to that, the argument they always say is, well, they would go and squander it. I would say it's owed to them. So it's not yours to determine what they're going to do with the money.
Yeah.
And two, I would say, I don't think they would, to be honest. I truly don't think most black people that I know would do that. I think they would either save the money and live a good life for the rest of their life, or they would try to invest it. Maybe they would lose it through investments and shit, but I don't think that most of the people I know are, and for lack of a better word, niggas. I don't think the percentage of black people, I don't think it's that many. I think it maybe is 20 to 30%. But majority of black people, if they came up on anywhere from 400,000 to 3.5 million, they would go buy a house somewhere off in the cut and be like, I'm so glad this happened. I'm off the grid forever.
See, I want to agree with that, but like, do you see it when like people get free housing and they just ruin the house? Like, it's happened so many times. It's different
when you own it. The thing is, these people, they do everything but give black people money. They do everything but give a nigga some damn money.
Yeah.
Give them the money. If it's theirs, it's different, bro.
Right.
And niggas, and I hate to say it that bluntly, but it's that simple.
Yeah.
And it's simple, but it's hard to accept. But I think that it's owed, and I don't think it's like even a question. It's very
I think
obvious.
like so much stems from the fact that you have this community stuck in these poor communities. Like, there's naturally going to be more black people in poor communities because of what we just described. Right. And so then that's what literally causes fathers to leave households, and that's where that whole thing comes from, where black kids grow up without dads because they're in poor communities. That's really what it is. It's just nobody has any fucking money, and so you have this terrible thing that comes out of it where people think they need to sell drugs, they think they need to join gangs because they don't see opportunities.
They don't have anyone
them.
around that don't tell them otherwise. I'm gonna drink something.
It's just crazy. Yeah, go for it. But it's just crazy, dude. Like, and so you solve that problem. You actually solve so many other
just
problems.
Giving them the money.
Yeah, I mean, I even think like to an extent, like in the way that I would be liberal, I really think you'd give people like stimulus checks. That was actually really nice.
Yeah.
Like, you guys do that again,
shit.
I think you would have good results.
Yeah.
I don't think people would suffer if you gave them like $800 a month.
I believe
it have to be that much.
In the UBI. Like, I sort of kind of believe in the universal basic income.
If done properly.
If it's done properly, and like even Trump's going in and like taking out all these agencies. It's like, bro, like the sovereign wealth fund, like they have that. That's what it is in Alaska. It's the same concept.
Yeah.
The sovereign wealth fund that they get from the excess oil reserves, they give it back to you every year in taxes. Like, they give everybody who's an Alaskan resident $1,000 or whatever.
Oh, I didn't know that.
$1,200. It's just extra money that like they're like,
just to live there.
Just because you live there, right. But it's because they make so much in oil. So it's like the same with the Saudis. They do the same thing. That's why you see all the Saudis are like hella rich. It's because the oil money, there's not that many people. They have excess cash. They're like, yo, we could literally give everybody $5,000 at the end of the year and still have hella money, bro.
Easy.
Because there's not that many people that live in Saudi Arabia for real, like that are in that family or whatever, you know? So like that type of thing where I think we could have like a UBI of some sort where it could even be like $500 a month or whatever. Even the idea to me of like food stamps, I like the idea of if you work 30 hours a week or more, you get food stamps. Not if you don't work, you get food stamps. Like, I think that's a better idea. Like, how do you not see that? Like, you could literally, because then say your husband works, he gets it now. You know what I mean? Like, the person who's working and contributing should get the help if they need it.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
So you're saying,
and increasing the threshold, like, because you're paying into the taxes, you're paying into the system, or like literally through seeing all this money that we spend and shit, I'm literally at the point where I'm like, yeah, we could stop paying taxes. Like, we could stop paying. Like, we don't need to fund all this. We just don't.
Yeah.
There's so much that we don't. And then the ones that we do, we could probably get from tariffs for real. And we could just have, like when I went to Colombia, bro, they had so much shit that was made in Colombia, bro. So much. And it was cheap. Like, a bottle of water was 2 pesos, which is equal to like 50 cents USD.
See, is that the ultimate idea with the tariffs, to get things to be made in America? Isn't that the idea? It just blows my mind when we don't make things.
You can start, everyone in America, like, think we're the biggest consumers. So imagine if everyone's consuming in the country, then you can start more small businesses. I mean, once it's up and running, you can start more small businesses. Like, and even think about it like this: all these factories got to be built like in the country, right? So then all the factory workers could probably buy a decent crib, because if you're in the country, all those cribs are probably cheaper. You know what I mean? So it's like, bro, niggas not really thinking about this shit on like a critical level. I'm like, I don't know. I just feel like this makes sense. Like, I feel like, how does this not make sense to you guys? Like,
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe I'm like, I don't know. It's just to me.
I don't think most people think about much of it at all. Like, that's really what it is. I think people form their opinions based on like a couple things they saw and what they hear about a given thing. I don't think most people are even that involved. When you really talk to them about it, they're not putting that much thought into it. And I don't even blame them. You actually, I'm happy for them. They have more of a life than I do for thinking about it.
Like, I don't know why I think about it. I just hear it and I'm like, yeah, I don't believe that.
Yeah.
Well, maybe, but
well,
also.
Dude, what's maddening to me is what it reminds me of, like when I think about just the way things are in general. It's like growing up in a family where your parents lied to you your whole life, and just one day you figured it out, and now like you're just constantly paranoid and like a crazy person.
America just found out Santa's not real.
Exactly.
America just found out Santa's not real.
It ruins your whole childhood. It just ruins everything. You look back with like, there's no longer those rose-tinted glasses. You see everything now clearly.
But it's true. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not paying taxes no more, bro. This is what y'all got my money doing, bro.
Yeah. I do think taxes are ultimately a scam. I mean, clearly. Because what they would say is, okay, well, you get to vote for the people you vote for and they decide where your taxes go. I've heard recently, I think it was Vivek who was saying it, but he's not even in government now. But I thought there was a bill that passed, or they were doing something where they're trying to make it so there's not 600 things in one bill anymore.
Yeah.
Now there's only like 5 things in one bill.
Good.
Which is a great thing. Exactly.
It's like, no shit. Like,
exactly. Why were you guys doing the other thing?
Why
in the first
would
place?
you do that? Why? Who reads 600 of anything?
But that's why, because you can get a million things passed just by doing it. That's so obvious. Of course that's why you do that.
But that's what I'm saying. It's obviously corrupt.
Exactly.
And
yeah.
I don't fuck with that.
No one does.
Like, I don't get that. Like, how is it? But that's why I like that Trump's coming in and just being like, that's illegal. That's not, no, you're shut down. Fuck you. Like, I just like that. Like, I'm on most issues, I feel like most people actually agree with this guy. And if you don't agree with him, I want to know why.
And exactly. That's why I say that I don't think most people really think about it.
They get mad if you ask, like, well, why do you think this? They get mad. And it's like, well, I'm not going to not have my opinion because you don't have an opinion.
Yeah.
You know, like, I hate to break it to you, but like, I feel like there's more of you than there are of me, and that's not like I'm the rare one, I'm the one who can watch the news and like not get brainwashed apparently.
Well, and it just blows my mind that people don't think in the way where it's like you get to better ideas through discussing ideas.
Yeah.
So if I disagree with you and we disagree,
that's cool.
I would like to figure out why you think the way that you think. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you're right and I'm wrong.
And I'm willing to be wrong.
Yes.
Like, I feel like the reparations thing, like, after I gave my explanation, you were like, yeah, I mean, I can't argue with that,
It makes sense.
That makes sense, you know? And I feel like that's the open mind is like, you can be willing to like learn, you know? And I feel like motherfuckers don't be willing to learn in real life. They only want to learn from their phone or whatever. But when their boss pulls them aside and is like, hey, you got a fucking bad attitude, they like take that shit to heart. And it's like, bro, like that's where you really need to learn. Like, that's the real life moment right there.
I mean, like
they're trying to help you.
One thing that I always say like about comedy that I think is cool is that you get like a live learning experience when you're on stage doing comedy. They're going to be completely honest with
There's
you.
no tape to review, nigga. You know you bombed.
And there's no faking it either. They can't. There's no like. If you bombed, you bombed. It's not like music where I can just be cool and everything's fine. Like maybe they didn't get a big reaction, but I know what I did. It's like, no, I wanted them to laugh. They didn't laugh.
Yeah, they actually said you sucked. So.
Yeah, but you need that. Like you need to test those. Put yourself out there and test yourself and get a reality back in order to ever grow and change and do anything. Yeah. So it's like at least comedians have to go through that.
And that's why I'm like, I feel like most people need that just in real life in general.
Exactly.
In everything they do.
Yep.
Sometimes you need the boss to tell you you're going too slow. You need your mom to tell you when you're going to move out. It's because, nigga, you need to move out.
You're 34.
You need to move out.
You got to move out.
Like, you need to hear that. Don't get mad. Get better. Like, don't get bitter. Get better.
Don't get bitter. Get better. Yeah. Because I think, like, people, when you don't think that way and you're just naturally combative, or I think it's dogmatic in a way. Like, you have an ideal version, an ideal way of thinking about things, and so you get in this pattern, like, I'm supposed to say this, and then when you do that for long enough, you don't even realize you're not really thinking about stuff.
Millennials and Gen Zs, they just bitches, dog. They just like the biggest haters.
Maybe
they just grow up online and like that's all you ever know, and so you be like on some real like, I'm salty at my own life.
I think people have
I'm gonna just lash out on you. And
yeah,
like, they just do that shit all the time, and I feel like I've just noticed it more and more.
Do you think it's because
you're just lashing out? You don't even mean that shit.
Do you think like they're lashing out because they're not happy like that?
Yeah, that's why I feel like deep down inside, people's lives is just fucked right now, bro. And so you just get a lot more lashing out in general. Like, bro, like when you go around the world, you start seeing that, like, bro, America is not normal, bro. Like, this shit is crazy. Like,
it's a dysfunctional family.
It's kind of dysfunctional, yeah. So, like, when you see people lashing out and doing all this crazy shit, you're like, yeah, because this shit not right. Like, something's got to give. Like, it just is what it is. This is why we're seeing this. Like, when you go over there and you see people over here sitting on the street corner with their mom and brother just laughing outside of a restaurant, like, they probably don't got, two quarters scrapped together, but they laughing and having a good time and truly happy. And then you come over here, you go to like a rich neighborhood, and you got like people, like homeless people fighting and all this shit. It's like, this is not how a city should operate. And that's not how a country should operate.
When the other countries come here, they're like, holy shit, this is America?
Yeah, well, exactly. Like, that's what I heard one of the Uber drivers say to us. He was like, yo, I went to America and I was so disappointed because in the movies it looks like one thing and you get there and it looks like another. Mm-hmm. It's not even the same thing, bro. It's like, he was like, almost like I felt scammed going to America because it was worse than Colombia. Like, there was no homeless people for real in Colombia other than like I don't know, it was like these, I don't want to call them indigenous, but they was definitely like some different race than the rest of them. They were like darker and they didn't have shoes on, but it was like a lot of women and their children. Yeah. So it was really sad, but it looked like the indigenous people from what just I was looking at, you know what I mean? Whereas over here it's like veterans and like, unfortunately black people, you see a lot of black folks are like, they're like the highest percentage of the homeless, and living in Cali for a long time is just so fucking sad that it ends up that way,
Yeah. And like it's crazy that there's
because it tends to be like certain groups of people that are homeless. Mm-hmm. It's not even just down to like you end up homeless. It's like certain people end up displaced.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, like veterans, like just minorities in general. Like now it's becoming more and more. Black males in particular,
black
really.
Males and black male veterans at that are like the number one. Like if you go to like Cali and shit, you see. It's just obvious, bro, and it's just like this got to change. Don't even get me started. But anyway, that's all I'm saying, bro. Like you kind of see some shit like that. You start noticing little patterns, bro. Like I hate that. I hate that I notice it. I don't even be trying to. I just be like walking around with no headphones on. I feel like if you take the headphones out your ears and shit and just like listen and watching shit, bro, like you start picking up weird little stuff like that when you go around the country doing stand up. That's like, yo, this isn't all funny. Like this is still like the country I live in, and like I remember it being different because my parents were in the military, so like I always traveled around a lot, bro. Mm-hmm. Always. Bro.
When was it? Like when are you talking about? When you remember?
I was born in Japan. Actually, I was born in Okinawa.
Wow.
Yeah, in 1996. I mean, my first memories was in Yuma, Arizona. I was going to California back then, like driving to Cali because we would drive to all these places. Cali, we drove to Ohio, New York City. Like I lived in New York. North Carolina, like all over, bro. And it was just different, bro.
All over it was different.
Like all over the country, the vibe was different. Everything was different. But it's starting to go back to that is what it feels like. Yeah. It feels like we're going back to this like America vibe.
I hope, yeah. Because I mean, like, earlier I said I'm a year younger. I'm 2 years younger. I was born in 1998. And I feel like I missed most of the innocent America.
I saw that a little bit. Like I used to go to the McDonald's Playhouse.
Yeah.
That shit, you know?
Exactly.
There was like just other kids in there. And it was free to go in. Like now you got shit like Sky Zone and all that, but you got to pay like a monthly membership and all this. Like, bro, you would just go get your food and you could chill in the Playhouse. Like, that was the admission cost. Mm-hmm. Now everything's an arm and a leg. It's just like, nah, bro, we gotta,
eventually people would reject that, and it just has to turn around.
Yeah, or you know what? I truly think if we have less taxes and all that shit, that eventually we'll get to the point where We just have more money in our pockets. Like there's higher paying jobs. Bro, these factory jobs pay a lot of money. Like, I don't know if niggas know that, but they start at like 30 fucking, like my little brother like would like cut metal and he started at like $30 an hour, bro.
Really?
Yeah, like as a welder, which like he only took like a 18-month certification in high school and got that shit at like the career center type shit. Like,
And he could just do that the rest of his life.
I mean, it's not like good work, you know, like
No.
it's bad for your body and stuff, but like think like a factory at Toyota, you know, that's why you see Toyota trucks and Nissan trucks, because they actually have factories here, bro. They make that shit here. Like, don't get it twisted.
Interesting.
You drive through the country. That's what I'm saying. I've driven all over this fucking country, but I've seen a lot more shit than people would think. And like, yeah, they got all kinds of shit here. And that's why, like,
I never knew it was that high paying.
they pay decently well, bro. I think they started at like 28, 29, or, you know, something in that realm, if you're like actually making it. But I think there's hundreds of workers and they work all the time, like, but they don't have to like serve customers or anything, so they can run 24/7 and just be making these trucks here and have, like, you know, like I said, bro, South Carolina's like booming right now, like for shit like that, you know.
Well, I mean, again,
it's cheap
Flint,
to get a
Detroit.
crib.
It used to be
It
the
doesn't
auto
cost
industry.
$1 million. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it used to be the center of it, and then
Yeah.
everything just disappeared at one point.
Exactly. And it's going to come back. I swear to God, it's going to come back if things keep going the way they are, because these like he just put 25% tariffs on steel and aluminum. That
See,
means
but
people are going to make it here.
And it's, again, like that system, the way it works. It's so frustrating because the whole thing becomes tariffs are good or tariffs are bad. It's both.
It's both,
It's
right?
both.
It's both. Things are going to cost more, but ideally, and these government cushy jobs are gone, but the average working person, like the majority of people, it could go good or it could go bad. You know, like the no taxes, less tax, income tax. I think is going to help as long as they don't increase other taxes. As long as they don't increase the sales tax. As long as they don't increase the fucking property taxes and shit. But if, you know, Trump still keeps giving the states money and shit, or like the president in general, I don't see why they would need to increase it, you know? Like, keep it the same, and you just don't have to pay taxes.
Yeah.
Or eventually no taxes on the citizens, you know? Like, that's where I want it to get, you know?
Yeah.
That would be dope. Like, I think that would definitely put more money in your pocket. And then, like, if jobs just start paying more in general, like those, or not even jobs pay more in general, but those jobs come back and they're available again.
Yeah, because I mean, it's so crazy
Those
that like
factories
the
are
government
huge.
wanted to even push all those jobs out in the first place. I mean, that
Right.
was one of the big wins Trump had over Hillary when he first had
Right.
those debates with her. Is when he was talking about like your husband's the guy who signed all these deals and you endorsed these deals to push jobs out of our country. And it's true. That was right around that time is when
Right.
Bill Clinton was in office, and
Because
they,
you gotta think, what if like new cars come? Like when I went to Colombia, they have Colombian cars that you've never seen before.
yeah,
Never
that's
would've thought.
awesome.
They have Chinese cars over there that you've never seen before. You know?
And it's manufactured
And
there.
it's or like imported, but they have like tariffs. There's so much more out there that you know that we've never even knew about as Americans. And so I think that we could either come up with new cars that are American, or like I said, people will just buy more American in general, and so therefore it'll go down, like the price will go down of the cars, so that
Yeah.
like they're more accessible. Because like at least when I was growing up, I mean, I got a fucking Dodge Stratus like in 2003. It was like $2,500, bro. Like there was just more cars. They were American and they were shittier, but they got you from point A to point B.
Dude, even when I got my first car, it was probably
I ain't gonna lie,
2016.
bro. I got a piece so far.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. It's the end of the world, dude. It was probably the best thing I was ever going to say in my life.
Fuck.
Yeah, this sucks.
We were gonna blow.
I was about to. I mean, like, what keeps you doing comedy? What do you like the most about it? What brings you to that, you know?
You know, honestly, I don't even fucking know.
You don't know?
anymore, bro? I don't even know. I like doing it. It's fun. Like, it gives me a rush. And I just want to see where I can take it, you know? Like,
Yeah.
I've just been doing it for so long at this point. I'm like, I just want to see where this goes.
Dude, what is, like, your ultimate trajectory? Like, what do you see?
Okay, this is what I want. I want to do, like, a sketch comedy show, kind of like Chappelle Show style.
Okay.
But I am on stage with the star of, like, that sketch. That, you know, we do, like, a kind of like a, you know, a banter back and forth, talk about it afterwards, you know, after we show them and stuff. And then, like, maybe they could even do some stand-up a little bit. So it more, like, showcases people who do sketch and stand-up rather than just, like, you know,
So they're doing like, okay, so you're bringing different people on
every episode, yeah, and they like kind of co-host with me, but we do like sketches together, and so it's like something that we wrote together.
Okay, so like sort of similar to like how SNL works, where it's different skits every week,
Like
with different
imagine
celebrities.
Key and Peele,
Yeah.
like, but imagine if like he had a different guy instead of Jordan Peele. It was just like someone else that every week.
And then they also do stand up, maybe like in
Exactly.
between, like Key and Peele, like
Or
the
they
same
could do
thing.
like a set or something. Yeah, like they could just showcase like what they do. You
Oh,
know?
that's a great
And it
idea.
could be other improv people that are like a Zach Galifianakis, or whatever. His fucking name.
Galifianakis.
Yeah, I can't do it. That guy, like whatever the guest does, like, but we kind of do shit together and kind of like write the show like that.
Yeah.
But it's me and another person every episode.
That's a
Like,
great
what I
idea
wanna
because
do.
you'd get so many. You'd naturally, every episode would be so different.
So different that you're like, okay, what happened? And then it's also like if it bombs, it's like who cares because it was just these two guys. The next episode you can come back and be like, okay, it's gonna be completely different anyway.
Yep. Yeah. I feel that way about podcasts, you
Yeah.
know, like if one isn't great or one isn't like what I thought, it doesn't even matter, dude.
Right.
You can just film fucking 5 more this
Right.
week.
Then you got
You'll be
some that
fine.
are like, 1 hour, some that are like 3 hours. Like sometimes you just have good vibes. So
Yeah.
I just don't want to be tied down to just like one co-host.
That's a
like
fun.
one
That
group
sounds
of
like
people.
so fun. Because do you have like ideal people you'd want to be on that show?
I mean, so far I have some, but it'd be more like, like I'd want to work with, bigger people for that.
Yeah. I mean, well, obviously that would be the draw
Yeah,
too. It's like who's going to be on the show. This
And also,
week.
like I said, like a Shane Gillis would be like a guy that I obviously would be like, but he could do stand up and sketch, so like we could do something like even Tony Hinchcliffe. So people who, because I want them to not necessarily be like sketch people, but it's like, oh, like I don't really do sketches, but I wrote some sketches for this show. You know what I mean? Like it's that.
That'd be
type
even
of show.
more fun.
And like we sat down together and thought this was funny. We laughed about it. We wrote some sketches. And if it's not funny, like just don't shoot it. You know what I mean? If it's not vibe, like Theo Von, like those types of guys. Like that's the idea for the show is like the people who don't usually do sketch, those comics, getting them to do sketch. But it's like something they thought was funny, ultimately. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want it to be like SNL like forced, But even not even those guys, like those are just people I just threw out that I would like to work with,
Like big names that would obviously
That
perform
influenced
well
me,
and
that I
that influence you. Yeah.
Could be funny, right.
I mean, like, but it'd probably be so many people you wouldn't even realize would be a good episode. It'd be a good episode on a show like that. There's
But even
probably so
like,
many. I'm sure Bill Burr would be fucking
Bill
awesome
Burr,
on something like
exactly.
that. Yeah.
Or even Marcelo Hernandez, like on SNL, like he already does sketches. So like I could get him to come out and do stand up, and that would be like the draw. Like, oh, okay, he doesn't really do like a 10, like or whatever, So like outside of the box thinking type
Even
shit.
that, where you get skit guys to do stand up
Type shit.
getting them to do both.
Type
You could
shit.
even do people who aren't comedians at all.
Yeah, exactly.
That would even be something that you
like
could
a
work
small
into there.
version of SNL.
Yeah,
Because that's what Dave Chappelle did. He'd have little rapper cameos, or like he had John Mayer in there doing the guitar. Like that's what I'm imagining. Like getting collaborations, but making funny comedy with people and getting them outside of their realm. Or even like a Jordan Peele, you know what I mean? Like doing like a horror one, could be funny, like a horror episode for Halloween,
Yep.
like
Not even comedy at all, just horror.
well, he did sketches. Remember, he did Key and Peele, so it's like I think he'd be experienced enough to be like, okay, like he'd be a good guest. Like just people who are good guests,
Yeah, that
Yeah,
would
like
be a
talk to him a
great
little bit.
idea.
And just kind of mix it up and do it because I'm imagining it'll be on TV for like 30 minutes an episode. So
So when you think about that, you think television, or do you think like
I
streaming? You think
I always
YouTube?
think television and then work around it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, you always want to think television, bro.
I don't know, because like I don't know how much you make on television now. Like if you put it on TV, do you make as much as if you put it on streaming? I actually don't
No,
know.
but it's a credit, and it's like this is what I've always wanted to do. So I want my shit on TV. I don't give a fuck.
You want to tell mom? You want to call mom? Tell her to change the channel.
I want
right
my
now.
shit on Adult Swim, nigga.
That would be dope, man.
I don't care. Like, yeah, I don't care. That would be dope. It doesn't have to be like the number one thing I do, but that would be like my favorite. Like, oh wow, I really made it. Because my mom's seen me. I've been on Fox, and my mom saw me on TV once and like called me and like sent me a fucking picture. So like it was a great feeling. I damn near almost ejaculated for real. It was the only time my mom made me come. So.
Gotta love it, man. That's a beautiful family story. But like, I feel like I feel like that, yeah, dude, because your parents, they don't really understand. I think like I might have been Shane Gillis, like when he said he was gonna be on SNL, like that was his parents, like that was a big thing for them. Whereas like, oh my God, my son's gonna be on TV.
Like I don't
and then
care.
he lost it, and his parents are like, oh, you aren't a comedian. Like in their mind, that is success.
Like I need to get on TV, right? At least a couple times, at least for like 30 minutes, little show, 30-minute slot. Like it doesn't have to be anything crazy, but I want to at least get on TV.
Even just to cross it off that list.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like that would be. I don't need to make $1 million off that.
Yeah.
But if I could do that and then like also be touring on the road and shit like that, afterwards, like I think that'd be fine. Like I'll be cool with that. Like I'm cool with that, and maintain my integrity, of course.
Like that would be.
I ain't trying to give up the booty. Like that's the thing too. Like that plays a factor for me.
Yeah.
I don't know Diddy parties.
No
so
adrenochrome for this.
I
guy.
gotta do it the right way.
Yeah.
Shit. So if I could just at least get a little TV slot, that's all I'm asking for. Get me on the road. I could do a solid fucking 20, no problem. Like
yeah, and like really, that's the goal, right? Is to do. I mean, like with me, I like doing music. I like doing podcasting. If I could just do these two things and actually make money, I'm happy. I actually don't have to do anything else.
Yeah.
I would be totally happy.
Right.
Like that's the goal: is to do something you actually want to do.
Right.
A show like that would be so fun.
that's what I'm saying. I think that's my magnum opus. Like I would have the most fun doing that, especially if I had like a budget and editors.
And if you were the one who gets
just
to pick the people too, you can curate that experience.
Like Drake, I want Drake so bad. He's fucking cheap right now, bro. Drake stock right now, bro. I'm sure I could get him to do a skit.
Yo, you should actually message him right when this interview is over. The podcast is done. You fucking hit up Drake.
Yo, he's light skinned, bro. He can't be too far.
Oh man, I should be hitting up Drake for the podcast. You're making me think about it. Like shit, dude. Drake, you can say we don't even have to talk about Kendrick Drake. We can talk about anything else.
Oh, we can talk about fucking how you got washed. Oh, we gotta invite him over and then ambush him.
Yeah. He'd probably like have a way to fucking like make it so I couldn't release the episode. I'd have to make him sign some paperwork beforehand if I was gonna have to take that.
Drake will get you smoked, bro.
Yeah, dude,
You're a waste, man.
That's what he wants me to think. I don't think Drake will get me smoked. I think he wants me to think he'll get me smoked. Did you see recently he went out on stage and he had like a t-shirt on with fake bullet holes in the front and smoke coming out of his back? Bro, that is not what a gangster would do, bro. That's what somebody who thinks they're a gangster.
This is his 50 Cent moment.
It's so funny, dude.
This is him.
Oh, Drake.
He survived the 9 shots.
He did. I mean, I just wonder.
He didn't. I don't think he survived. He's doing shows in Australia. He's doing shows at a bar in Australia. That nigga did not survive the shot. I saw him singing fucking Trust Issues.
It's really tragic. It's really tragic because like Drake actually had a pretty solid career leading into that. It really fucked everything up
he's
for
still
him.
good. He's got an album coming out actually on Friday. So
wonder-
we're going to see what's happening.
We'll see.
Shout out. It's called Some Sexy Songs for You.
Is it really?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Oh my God. I thought that was a joke.
Unfortunately, it's actually called that.
Oh, I thought you were trying to get me on one. That's real. Some sexy songs for you.
Yeah, he's trying to have sex right now.
Yeah. I think Drake's PR team, as soon as he dropped that last song, they were like, stop. Just don't say anything about it anymore.
Yeah.
Just don't say a word.
They were like,
as soon as he brought up Jeffrey Epstein, they were like, stop. Don't.
You're like, do you want to die?
Do you want to fucking die? Do you know what this is? Like, do you know what's happening?
No,
It's
man.
actually crazy that it got to that point. Like, because as a fan of rap beef, like I love this shit. Like when it was Eminem and MGK, I was saying like it's crazy there's not more of this, because the only other time I can think of in modern history that happened would be Pusha T and Drake, another Drake one. I guess before that it was Meek Mill and Drake with the whole
Drake
back to
won
back.
that one, and the Pusha T thing, like everyone thought that was a low blow. Like it was too much. Like Kendrick, they was sick of Drake at that point, and Kendrick was actually good. Like Pusha T's was just like. It was like walking into a room and shooting a shotgun. Like, it was just like, oh, man. It just,
You didn't have to
it's
do
just-
all that.
Yeah. I was like, damn, bro. You could have used the pistol. But, like...
You should have just called, bro.
Yeah, that was, like, rough, you know? Niggas was like, damn, it's crazy. Like, that is fucked up. But I don't, like, want to listen to your music after this, you know? Like...
Yeah.
Whereas Kendrick's was like, damn, like, nah, he dethroned that. He deported that nigga, actually.
Yeah. Continuously.
Kendrick deported that nigga Drake, if you think about it. Like, I ain't gonna lie. His ass is literally not allowed back in America right now.
And that's what battle rap is supposed to be. It's supposed to be fucking like brutal. Like and also it's supposed to be based on skill. Like what made that battle so good is that Kendrick was just better.
Yeah.
Like that's really what happened.
Sorta. Nah, I feel like Family Matters was hard though.
It was good.
Drive.
I didn't dislike it.
That was kind of hard. Like he had to battle the whole industry, and then everybody just coincidentally forgot about that. Like Drake was definitely at a disadvantage, and I don't feel like he deserves what happened to him if he's not actually a pedophile. Like what the fuck?
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
That's what I think. I think the same exact thing. I think that it's like one of those things where if I say that word, if I call you that and like enough people repeat it, it doesn't even matter whether or not you did it.
That's fucked up, you know?
Yeah.
I can't lie.
They're just going to hate you. And so like whether or not Drake it actually did anything, it was already in the public consciousness, the whole Millie Bobby Brown thing.
Yeah.
And also, I don't know if you ever saw like the whole thing with him bringing that younger girl on stage.
Of course, that was bad. That was a bad look.
Bad.
But hey, it was a different time, man. I'm a Drake fan. I'm the biggest Drake fan, bro. You don't understand. Like, he was so good when I was a kid, bro.
I got a friend who, when this was all going down, I remember I'd call him and he was a big Drake fan. And it was like, I was always fun because, you know, it.
Can you hand me that, bro?
Yeah. Clearly, fucking.
I think I left it in the other room. Fuck, it's all good. The weed? Oh, thank you.
Clearly Drake was losing. Clearly. Like, everybody thought Drake was losing. But my friend would be like...
I don't think so. Like, look, when he dropped Family Matters for that hour before Kendrick dropped, I was like, oh, we might be on to something. And then Meet the Gram dropped, and I was like, no, please, no.
Yeah.
And then it just kept dropping, and I was like, oh my God, this is like some fucking like Vegeta shit. Like he just went Super Saiyan on this nigga and just turned up. And then he just finished him, and I'm like, with the A minor line was just like, bro.
I remember where I was when I was like when the Twin Towers.
I do too.
I remember exactly where I was.
In Michigan when I heard that. Actually, I was in New Buffalo getting weed.
You remember like the moment, like what you were looking at and what it. You remember?
I literally remember it all because
Yeah.
I remember listening to it, and I had to pull over and send it to my girlfriend. I had to pull over and be like, babe, the nuke has been dropped. Like Hiroshima, like it's over.
It really was unbelievable.
I couldn't believe it. And I heard the A minor, and I was just like, yo, it's over. It's fucking over. Drake can't come back from this. And then he dropped the heart, and I was like, oh yeah, hell no, bro. It's super over. Like Drake could have not dropped. He should have just not dropped.
Yeah, but like
it was too hot.
It was too hot.
It was too hot.
Mm-hmm. And I just think that, and because of the nature of the battle, like he had to respond quickly.
He egged it on too. That
Yeah.
was the thing. It would be one thing if Kendrick came at him, but he was doing the whole tailor-made freestyle, bro. That was the saddest shit, bro. The
With the
tailor-made
AI
with
shit.
the AI. I was
Yeah.
just like, bro, like. He's taunted him, and I just knew as soon as I heard Euphoria, I was like, oh, Kendrick's not playing, bro.
Well, even in Euphoria, that was before, because Family Matters is where it really all shifts. Like,
Yeah.
if you were
I
keeping
thought Drake
track,
still had a chance after Euphoria. I was
Uh-huh.
like, okay. And Family Matters was good.
because Kendrick wasn't really coming at Drake like that. He really wasn't. But in Family Matters, then Drake starts
But
saying all this
the vibe
shit.
of Euphoria is like, I know I won.
Well, okay, so it is a great diss track. But what I'm saying is he wasn't coming for Drake's entire career at that point.
Yeah. The pedophile thing is just so damning. And it's like, I actually, the white side in me, I understand why he sued him. Like, I understand.
Right?
Because it's just so damning. Bro, he went from doing stadiums in the U.S. to doing bar shows in Australia. Like, come on, bro.
Yep.
There's literally a video of this nigga singing Trust Issues at a bar in Australia. Like, It's so sad, bro.
Drake's PR team been working overtime ever since.
Bro, he's so down bad after what happened to him that it's
yeah. And
I've
like,
never seen anything like it. But it's not Ja Rule though, because you know Ja Rule, that nigga, he's done for. He's like doing Love and Hip Hop. Drake will never do Love and Hip Hop. You know what I mean? Like he'll never be like that bad.
he can't flip his career like that.
He just won't. I just think he's got too many hits, bro. He's literally got just as many hits as Michael Jackson. He's got it. Like if this little Sexy Songs for You album is good, like he'll be back. He'll just be an R&B singer now.
I mean, it might even be like similar to Kanye in the sense that no matter all the public controversy that surrounds this figure, if he just continues to release music that people like, people will look past all that other shit and he'll be
I feel
fine.
like Drake's nowhere near Kanye's level because it's not proving he's a pedophile. He's just done some like a nigga in the 2000s who wasn't like really like worried about it shit. You know,
Yeah.
like him kissing that girl. Like he was only like 21 in that video and she was 17. So it's like, okay, like I understand.
I didn't know he was 21.
I think he's like 21 or 22.
Yeah.
Like he's not old.
That is different. Yeah.
But it's like, it's still not okay.
Right.
But it's the way, like, he's not a pedophile. Like, the way, like, that word really, you know what I mean? What it makes it jump to, you know? So, like, that's all I mean of, like, he could still come back, honestly, bro. He's just got to fucking, he just, you know what it is? He lost his confidence.
Yeah.
That's what the worst part about all of it is. It's like you're Drake. You're known as the confident, light-skinned nigga who can withstand anything. And
That's
then
why
you just
suing's
die.
a bad look, though. Because
No, it's a good look. It's a
you
good
think
look.
so?
It's a good look.
Because I think when he sues, like
If he wins, it's a good look.
I don't know, man. Because I think the people who are like in it for the hip hop, the competition of it, they look at that as like, okay, but that wasn't part of the game. Like you don't sue though,
Bro, but thing is, if he's not a pedophile at all and there's no real, it's like, and you come out of nowhere. I mean, I only understand because look, he's a $1 billion guy.
Yeah,
right?
he's basically a
the
brand. He's a
biggest,
walking brand.
And like, you can't make it seem like that didn't hurt. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
he can't. The nigga's doing shows in a bar in Australia. Dude, he's still in the Red Room. Like, come on, my nigga.
Something's wrong.
Something's off. I don't think that's fair what Kendrick did, and especially if they cheated. Because the thing is, every label does payola, but if they came out and like it's the same with the illegal immigration thing. Like payola is still not legal. Just because everybody does it doesn't mean it's not legal.
Yeah.
So if you have a massive case of it where you paid, because technically they let like the streamers keep the money. I don't know if you saw like a lot of streamers are in the lawsuit too, because they like basically let a bunch of streamers keep the money, and in return they were reacting to like all his shit. Like that's what he's claiming basically. So they're basically saying like, oh well, there's money involved now, and like all these guys who like have influence over the culture were all reacting to it at the same time, instantly boosting your shit up. And I didn't do that for them, so they didn't do it for me because I was playing fair. Y'all niggas wasn't playing fair, you know? And then they're actually paying people to play it on the radio, like calling him a pedophile.
But do you think that Drake doesn't do the same thing? I would imagine that's widespread in the industry.
It is, but they said they would like Not Like Us was basically like way more. And they said they were using bots to like increase the streaming numbers way higher than they really are, to like make people think like, oh shit, bro, this is the biggest shit in the world, you know? So they basically like used all this, and he basically said that like they did it to end his career, and it's not legal, you know? It's not legal is what he's saying. And I could see that argument of like the legality of it. Like you shouldn't have to cheat though, you know what I mean? Drake is the biggest in the world by far.
But is it legal to cheat?
Right, and so that's the thing. It's like if he's got a case, he's got a case. I don't think Drake would sue if he didn't have a case.
Right.
That's my biggest thing. I think Drake isn't an idiot.
No, I don't think so either.
You know what
I mean, there's a
mean?
reason Drake is fucking Drake.
So that's my thing. Like I think if he didn't have a case and his Jewish lawyers didn't have a case, they wouldn't have told him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this nigga's got something. That's what I think.
We're all good on that. It's just the TV turns on after a while. But yeah, man.
That's what I think. I think he actually might have a case. That's why he's doing it. I think he spent a lot of time thinking about it, and his lawyers looked over it, and they're like, yo, these niggas did some fuck shit.
Yep.
and it cost us $1 billion fucking dollars.
Yeah, he
And
needs some
now
reparations.
Yeah, exactly. And he deported me and I was a citizen. No. I need my shit.
Kendrick
deported
sent
his ass.
ice for fucking.
Like he just did the Super Bowl. Like he's basically like, and Drake even said it. Like this wouldn't even be a thing if you weren't mentioning me. You know?
Yeah, but in the hip hop sense of it, didn't Drake bring it upon himself by continuing to egg it on?
Yeah, I'm talking about the hip hop sense. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the legality.
The legality.
Because the money is the biggest thing still.
Yeah.
Like, bro, he's got, he was just literally making like $450 million a year, and now he's making, $25 a night.
At the Red Room Comedy Club.
At the Red Room Comedy Club doing his open mic shit, like doing trust issues.
Yeah.
No, bro. I feel like that's kind of crazy.
I mean, I'm glad the tickets are so cheap, but damn.
That's what I'm saying. He's like, he can't sell out in Australia. Like, he's never even been to Australia. They don't care. Like,
Oh man, see, yeah, I guess that is
the
because
legality of it.
I feel bad for Drake too, in the sense that if he didn't do that, like motherfucker, he's been through some shit. Now he had to reveal a child to the world because of a rap beef. He had to fucking lose all of his money.
I think he would still not make music. And I still love Drake. If you see this, bro, you're my favorite artist of all time.
Drake, I'll have you on the show. I'd love to talk.
Yeah, like for real. Like he's got $25 for you.
Yeah, maybe even 50.
Yeah. I think he can still put out music and shit, but I think if he wins a settlement, he's just gonna that's it. I think he wants him to settle. I don't even think he wants I think he can. Okay, you settle for $200 million, call it even, bro, and then they'll settle, and then from there.
And I think that's really what Kendrick probably even expects at this point. I don't even think he's worried about it. I think we're at the point now where Kendrick knows he's defaming him.
Yeah,
he's just continuing to do it.
Exactly, and the thing is, because Kendrick's only getting more famous because of this.
Yeah,
like he keeps going everywhere and doing the certified pedophile thing.
Even if he has to pay for it, it's probably a good business investment. Like, actually continue to defame this man, just pay him the money, and
then he's
go.
He's got Samuel L. Jackson doing skits, basically being like, "Am I gonna say it? Am I not? Ooh, I don't know." Like it's not fair to Drake. Like if he actually isn't a pedophile in any way, and he just keeps doing this, that's kind of a good. I would say that's a decent legal defense.
Yeah, I would. I'm inclined to agree.
I don't think it's as bad as people are making it out to be. Like, oh, he's not gonna win this at all. It's like, he has no chance.
Yeah,
if he's not actually convicted of anything, and there's no video, or you know what I mean. Like, there's nothing. It's not like he's R. Kelly, where it's like, okay, well, there's definitely that video that we can pull up right now if you want me to. Like,
yeah, but it's already like a public conviction. It's already like guilty until
proven
innocent.
That's not fair.
Yeah, it's not fair.
If it's not true, and I mean, I've seen Drake do some rapey shit. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, he's texting Millie Bobby and shit. Like, I'm not a fucking dumbass.
But even that, like, when you look at that, there was never a text that was sent to her that was like literally him saying,
"Yeah, he was
hey,
just
I'm
like
into
texting
you."
her," but it could have been like his team texting her.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
There's
like,
a million things that are going on there. Also, you're talking about two celebrities.
They're both celebrities.
Yeah.
They have something in common.
That's what I always say.
She loved Drake. She said she loved Drake.
Yeah.
Like,
and imagine you're Drake, and there's this younger celebrity that approaches you, and she says, "Hey, I'm a big fan." She just got famous out of fucking nowhere.
The biggest show in the fucking world right now.
Yeah.
Stranger Things was huge, and she was the main star.
And Drake's one of the biggest pop stars.
And he obviously wants her at his show, so he's like, "Yeah, I'll give you some tickets." Yeah. He's not trying to rape her or like have sex with her.
But I remember how it went down. It was like Millie Bobby Brown says in an interview, "Oh yeah," because they asked her, like, it was something that had already been said once. Yeah, and then they got her to expand on it, and that made it sound worse because of what she said. Like, she said, "Oh yeah, we've been texting. Like, he says he loves me."
15, yeah. So it's like, and that's bad, when it's also like, I just don't feel like
it's not enough to convict somebody.
Why would he do that? Yeah, and it's just like, bro, he's Drake. He could have access to any pussy in the world. Why the fuck would he want the bald bitch from Stranger Things? Right. Like, cut it out, bro. Right. Like, that's not real. He's not a rapist. He's not like a pedophile. I miss Drake. Like, I feel bad for the guy, honestly.
Yeah.
As one light skin to another, I feel bad, bro.
I mean, and all he can do at this point is probably just not acknowledge it and just make good music. Let's just hope the album's good, and he just lets it all go away.
Yeah, right. I could really use some sexy songs right now.
Yeah, just give us some sexy songs, Drake. You don't have to we don't have to talk about all this anymore. Just make some sex songs, become R. Kelly.
Because we're all over it. We're all like over the beef now.
People forget shit in like 3 minutes, dude.
I
No
just
one's
miss
talking.
Drake. Like
Yeah.
that's the thing. I think people don't like. He has a fan base. There are people who genuinely did listen to that music, even if it's not like the best. It's like I feel like you can play Drake at any setting.
Well, that's kind of. I think that's why he became what he became. Because originally he was really a hip hop artist. Originally he was making what you would expect an upcoming rapper to make. Like,
Disagree.
you think so?
I think he was originally on some like R&B shit, low key, and kind of like started rapping later, or not later,
Maybe I haven't
but
heard
like
his earliest stuff.
I'm talking like So Far Gone. That nigga, he was low key singing, bro.
You're right.
He was low key singing. He best I ever had is like not the toughest song I ever heard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This nigga, baby, you're my everything. Like, nah, bro. He started off on some Ja Rule.
But wasn't that kind of a thing in hip hop? Well, I guess you're right. That was more R&B. Because I'm thinking like artists like Chris Brown, shit like that.
Yeah, he was like collabing with Trey Songz and shit. Like,
Yeah. And then it kind of became more and more geared towards that over time.
he started rapping and people were like, oh, he can rap. Mm-hmm. You know, but then he started like, that's why what Kendrick said is true. Like he started hanging out with like black artists like Rick Ross and shit, you know, doing songs with DJ Khaled, guys in Miami and in Atlanta, Houston, whatever. Then, you know, he started having some stripes and he started like dropping some real like he didn't even drop a full rap, like fully rap album until what, like If You Read This Is Too Late. Mm-hmm. That was like 15. He had already been in the game for like 6-7 years, bro.
Yeah, and really, I think that's where it's all rooted from. Like, I don't think Kendrick really liked Drake in the first place because Kendrick looked at Drake. Like, Kendrick is somebody who is a true hip hop artist for the culture of hip hop.
Most artists like each other. Like, as I do art, I'm at the point where I just think most artists want to have their circle and their friends, and then like sometimes they'll collab and some people will be cool, but for the most part, like, I don't think artists need to like each other or like really do like each other that much. Like you get guys like A$AP Rocky and Tyler. They're like a little group, you know, or like you get like Drake, Rick Ross, DJ Khaled, and Wayne used to make songs together. But I really feel like it was Drake and Wayne and Ross and Khaled. And they would come together. You know what I mean? Like I feel like that's kind of how it goes.
Yeah.
And then like you see stuff like that. But I don't really think artists be like buddy anymore
In the way that you might think they would be. Like, they collab
like,
every now
like
and then.
they used to, you know?
It was different, you think?
Like, yeah, I mean, you would look at like, you know, Chris Farley, Chris Rock.
Oh, even in comedy, yeah.
Yeah, or like, yeah, like, you know, you would have guys like that. You would have the Def Jam, the black comics, you know. Then you had like the Kings of Comedy, like D.L. Hughley, Cedric the Entertainer, Bernie Mac. You had like little cliques that would pop up. Mm-hmm. But then like, the shit come out later that everybody hated each other every fucking time. So it's like, I just think artists are like hard to get along with in general, and I'm one of them.
I think you're right, man. Well, because we're all so opinionated. Like, we all have our own version of what this has to be.
Yeah.
And like, if you're a true artist, if you really are creative, you're going to have a very specific opinion. And that'll get you in some situations.
I don't even be minding when people don't agree with me. I just feel like people get so mad at what I got to say that it like it ruins the vibe. And so I'm like, well, I just don't want to be around people then.
Well, and you have to find your circle for that reason.
And that's why you find that circle. And you're like, okay, I could, like I said, like Drake and Wayne and Nicki used to be like one. We're like, okay, you got Cash Money. And like nothing really came out. But then remember, like Tyga was like kind of like the odd child out. Remember, like nobody really liked Tyga. He had to go. Eventually, he had to go.
Poor guy.
Oh, that's what I thought happened.
It's like the little brother that nobody likes.
Yeah, like hip hop is like the same. I think it's all artists, but hip hop's the same, you know.
Tyga, I remember Tyga.
Remember it was Young Money. It was like all them other guys, they gone now, bro.
Yeah, it's and like, I think that when you hang out with people who don't get what you're doing for long enough, you fuck yourself up. Like, they drag you down.
Right. I just don't. Yeah, I don't even like try to be a part of it. And that's where I'm like, that's where I think fans come in, where it's like, you know, we can hang out and like you can meet me, but we can't like be friends because I'm doing shit, and like you're not gonna get it. What like actually goes into all this stuff.
When you say fans, like, what do you mean? Like, people who would come out to your shows and stuff like
they
that?
come out to see me. Like, yeah, like I just went to Milwaukee. I had like 2 people come out.
But like, those people, if you were to like hang out with them on the
and like
regular,
we hung out after.
Yeah.
Like after the show, I went to the guy's house.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like
nice.
Like
dude.
I hang out with my fans. You know,
Yeah.
we're cool. Went to the house. smoked some weed, had some beers. You know, but then it's not like we're gonna like text and like be friends, you know. Like when next time in Milwaukee, if I got some new material, come hang out, you know, like we'll chill. But that's the extent of like, you know, and like when I'm on Instagram, he'll like all my shit, check out my shit. Like that's why I said like the views.
Well, and I think like doing that though, like just the fact that you hung out with that person, if they really are like a big fan of what you do, like that, just the fact that you take the time to hang out with them, like you don't even have to be their friend. Just spending a day with them, they fucking they remember that forever.
Right, because I worked with a guy at Joe's Crab Shack like a long time ago, like 8 years ago.
Shout out Joe's Crab Shack.
Right, like 2015, yeah, almost 10 years ago.
Nice.
And I haven't seen him since, you know, type shit. And then he just like, his girlfriend hit me up and was like, oh, when's the next time you're in Milwaukee? I was like, oh, I'm actually out there next weekend. Oh, can we come to a show? Sent her the link. And then, yeah, they came out. And then afterwards, I was like, shit, what you guys want? You got to hang out? You want to smoke? And he's like, bro, I live like 10 minutes from here. Actually, we Ubered. Can you give us a ride? I'm like, of course. You came out to see me. You know, you Ubered here, paid money to see me do comedy. The least I could do is give you a ride. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then from there, it just is like, yo, I'm here. You're like, yo, you guys want to smoke?
That's interesting that you say that too. Like when I'm thinking about it, and like I feel the same way. That's why I try to like. That's why I like doing a podcast with people who do things. Because like I find that when I talk to people who don't do things, like they're not creative people that are constantly doing something, it puts me out of that mindset. I'm like, oh wait, so you just chill and like watch movies and just do nothing?
And I do chill.
And I chill too.
I do chill.
But like I can't do that for too long, or else I feel like I'm not achieving anything. Like I like the feeling of writing a new song, of recording a new podcast, of knowing that I'm doing something that people will see. I'm putting in work. And so when I see people who are just okay with not doing that,
it's not.
And don't get me wrong, I think that's a great way to. I think they're actually happier than me. Their life is simpler than mine.
Because that's what I wish. I sometimes wish I never like became sentient. I don't know how to describe. Like I don't know how to describe it, but sometime in like 8th or 9th, I think it was like 7th or 8th grade, I just like snapped out of it all and just started failing out of school and not giving a fuck and trying drugs and you know, trying to bang chicks, and I just like snapped out of it and became like who I am today, you know. At like that age of between 7th grade summer. I just never looked back.
I think for me it's probably right around that same time is when I really snapped. It would probably be 7th or 8th grade.
Bro,
never
like,
the same.
I'm not
since.
doing this shit anymore, bro. I'm not trying to just like not think for myself. But that was really what it was. It was because I found a teacher was like lying to me about something. I don't even remember what it was.
Yeah.
But she just wasn't telling the truth, and it just like fucked me up. I was just like, oh, so you're lying. So I wonder what else you're lying about.
And then you learn that people just lie.
And
it's
then
not
I
just
started
her.
looking at my mom like that, and then I noticed she was lying, and I was like, oh shit, this is big.
Yeah. This is bigger than my teacher.
People tell me things that aren't true.
Constantly.
Oh, people don't actually know. And that's when I started being like, I wonder if the person behind that wheel right there actually knows how to drive.
Yeah.
And just like questioning everything. It just fucked me up.
Yeah. And so if you're that person that doesn't do, because I think of it too, like most of the people who are artists, like if you're a creator, if you're a comedian, if you're a musician, and you truly are, if that's truly the way you think, then you constantly will be questioning everything and trying to challenge ideas because you want to grow and you want to constantly.
Because my parents were both
something.
in the military.
Yeah.
So it was very like, this is how you do things. You're disciplined. You don't do these things.
Yeah.
You show up on time, ready to work. Like, it was just very simple and like straightforward and don't think. And
it's interesting how you would do the opposite then.
So that made me want to do the opposite. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, everything you tell me to do, I'm not going to do the opposite. Because fuck you. You know?
I mean, it's like, it's usually, there's the archetype of like the protective parents, and then you have like the girl who becomes the slut because her parents are overprotective.
I was basically that kid. Like, by the time I was 12, I hit my first blunt. By the time I was 14, I lost my virginity. Like, I was a badass little kid, bro. I was just doing everything, like in Ohio, everything I wasn't supposed to do, everything I saw because I was always hanging out with like older people and like my uncles and shit. So everything I saw them doing, I was trying to do. So it's just like I was a badass little kid. I was bad as fuck.
But in that, you know, it creates this like dichotomy within you where eventually
I'd be in the trap and then like go to school the next day. Like I'd be at the trap house and see niggas like selling drugs, making hella money, girls, niggas smoking blunts, and then like go and be in like 8th grade the next day, you know, like 'cause I'm with my family and shit, you know, and like then I'd go hang out with my dad in North Carolina, and he like just bought a house and is like doing good and like has a family, has another family now with another one. So I'm like, I'm just seeing like this whole world around me, like, and this all happened like 8th grade summer, you know?
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh wow, like this shit is so much bigger than I thought and like so much deeper. You could just do anything you want for real.
Yeah. That's why I envy people who do grow up in like a city or something like that, because I think it's way harder to close yourself off to all that stuff when you go on the subway and you see a guy dozing off because he just did heroin.
Yeah.
Like you learn at a pretty young age.
Exactly.
The world's a big place.
Yeah, Columbus was like a different, it wasn't like big city. It was, I lived in the city, but I was just moving around all the time.
Yeah.
But I saw like small town shit too. Like Jacksonville, North Carolina, where my dad lived, is like the middle of nowhere, bro.
Yeah.
It's outside of a military base. That's what I mean. Like, that's where I said, like, yo, he had like a crib that was nice and it was like 4 bedrooms, but he only spent like $220,000 at the time. But it was just because, like, yo, when you got like a federal job or like some type of job and they have you out in the middle of nowhere, bro, everyone has a crib. Everyone owns a house. It's because they're cheap, like, because no one else is there. Like, if you make a decent amount of money, like, you're not like hella broke,
just supplying
waiting
demand.
tables. Yeah, like you're probably gonna be able to afford a crib, bro. They're way cheaper than you would expect.
Yep. Even now, even still.
Yeah, you could probably go for
one.
like $250, like a 3-bedroom house in the middle of nowhere in North Carolina somewhere. Yeah, no shit, you know, like in a cul-de-sac, you know.
Yeah. But yeah, so getting exposed to that when you're experiencing that at home too, I mean,
it was all like back to back. Like that was the first time like I was experiencing like hanging out with my uncle and like really like he had to watch me for a little bit, you know. So like I had to go with him and he would just do this shit, like sell a little bit of weed and go pick up the pack and then, you know what I mean? Boom. And then like I would go to school the next day and be around like these, you know, kids. And like honestly, I went to like a charter school, so I was around like a lot of actually immigrants and migrants. Like a lot of Africans and like Somalis, like Ghanaians, stuff like that. You know, all of my teachers were Turkish. I don't know why. It just happened to all go down like that. I don't know why. So that was like another thing that like exposed me, you know, like because I speak Spanish too. So, and I'm not like Mexican or anything, but you know, just like wanting to be like exposed to new shit like that too, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. It just opened my mind up all at the same time. It just culminated to me being like going into 8th grade and being like, nah, I'm gonna do something different with my life. I used to always tell people, and you can tell me if you ever want to stop this podcast today.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
My dad. So I just moved from San Diego because my dad owned a dispensary and like we like sold the dispo and shit. And so like, and everybody in San Diego, that's kind of like where I got my following from for the Coastal Comedy Network. Because the people at the store, I would like tell them about my fucking comedy skits. And I was like the main bud tender over there. And so like I would just pass out my fucking card and shit. You know, people would check it out. But it was actually my dad's store. And a lot of people knew my dad in the area too. Because he would be in the store too. And I would always tell people like back in Ohio, like, man, I'm gonna start a weed store. And this is like, it wasn't even legal back then. And I was like, I don't care. I'm gonna start a weed store one day. And like, you know, we started it when I was 22. And then we had sold it by the time I was 25.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you did do it though. You accomplished that goal.
We did it. And I just was talking shit to people. And it actually happened, bro. I swear. Yeah, Vista, California. It was called the Flor Verde.
It went well for a while?
No, yeah, it was good. We did well enough to get bought out.
Why? I got bought out. That was how it ended. And for a decent deal, like you're happy with the way it all went down?
I'm chilling. Yeah, I'm chilling.
Yeah, you never think back like, what if I would have kept it? What if I would have kept going?
Well, I didn't. It wasn't mine. It was my dad and my uncle. Like, type shit.
Yeah.
I just worked there, but he gave me all the management experience I needed because I ended up getting the job. Like now I'm a birthday party manager at like Sky Zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, now, like, but even that's just like a day job because I picked up comedy in that time, you know?
Yeah.
It's like I said, I'm always trying new shit, you know? Like, that's the thing that I think keeps you young. It's just like,
yeah.
Even going out the country was just like, I just looked at my girls one day. It was like, you know, she always says she wanted to go to Colombia. She's Colombian, never been. I just was like, yo, I'm going to take this bitch. I'm going to take her. And she loved it.
And you got that new experience.
But I
out
got
of
the
it.
new experience too.
Yeah. Because I mean, like, I heard Maynard James Keenan once say, it was on, like, I think it was his second Joe Rogan appearance, maybe after that, I don't know. But he said, like, he has to do different things or learn different things all the time because the more input, the better the output. Or,
Right.
You know, like, you need more input to have different output. You need to experience.
That's why, like, when I'm doing the show, I want to edit the video or at least see the editing process.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
I want to see the fucking camera and, like, not the camera, but the sound equipment. Like, I just want to be a part of it all. Like,
that's a great point to make because that's why I mix and master my own music, and I always have. And if anybody ever, like, asks me, I would tell you, like, don't start, if you're gonna be like make music, learn how to record it yourself. Don't go to these studios and pay all this money. That's crazy talk. If you have a little bit of know-how, you want to invest in yourself, do it that, and
once
you will
figure
learn
it
so
out,
much.
it's really not that crazy.
It's not that crazy, yeah.
Not
And you get better and better at it over time. And then say you do go to that studio, and you know you do want to pay that money. Now you know all this shit
And
going
you can
into
tell
it.
them, like, this is what I want to do with it.
Exactly.
'Cause when I made music, I paid for the studio time. I was paying. I think it was a lot.
It's
I wanna
expensive.
say it was like $200 an hour or some crazy shit. No, it might have been $100 an hour.
Still, that's expensive.
It was a decent amount. It might have been $50 an hour. It was enough for me to say, like, I can't afford a lot at this time. But I paid because I wanted to get features with my boy Ray Ray and this dude Keith 3.
Yeah.
And we ended up going to the studio, and I paid for 2 hours, but the niggas was late, so I just went in and, like, started recording myself.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time they got there, like, I just didn't know what to do after I recorded the vocals, you know? I just was like, okay. And so he's, like, kind of mixing and mastering a little bit. He's, like, just trying to, like, kind of make a sound, but it wasn't, like, what I wanted.
And you didn't know how to tell him.
No.
Yeah.
No. So, like, that sucked.
Yeah, that's hard, dude.
That sucked.
Because if you don't know the words
when
to
Ray
translate
Ray
it.
and Keith got there, they knew what to kind of tell them. Like, oh, we want to do, like, a little, stutter here. Whatever, you know?
Oh, just little
Like-
tricks and
like
shit.
little tricks that he told him, kind of cleaned it up a little bit. And that song did sound significantly better than the other songs on the mixtape, which I might have a couple. One day, if this goes viral, I might bring some shit out. I think I got like 3-4 songs from back in the day. But they hidden away forever, bro.
Nah, dude. They're going to get leaked. You're going to get famous and they'll get leaked. Dude.
Yo.
I'll be behind that shit. I'll be the one with the documents. You know?
That'll be good. I'll be like the next Playboy Cardi, bro. My leaks going viral on TikTok.
Imagine like fucking Shane Gillis has a mixtape no one knows about and it's fire.
It's good. No, but that's the difference between me and him. My shit is not fire, bro. That's why I took it down.
It's particularly
No,
bad.
I had this song called Eskimo Bros. It was pretty good.
I think usually people are harder on themselves like with that than like I bet is not as bad as you think it is.
Well, because me and this guy and this other guy on the song, we're all rappers and we all fuck the same girl.
See, that's a great concept. That's a great concept.
It was like, nigga, we Eskimo Bros. We fucking Eskimos. It was something like that.
There's so much potential
I'm not
there.
gonna give you the whole shit, but yeah, we had a whole little something.
Yeah, you wait for the leak, folks.
Nigga, we Eskimo Bros.
We Eskimo Bros.
Hey, it's kind of a banger now that I think about it. I ain't gonna lie, it's kind of good.
That's what I'm saying.
All right, when I get famous, I'll tell you what, 100,000, we'll drop the shit. We'll
Yeah.
drop it. Give me the 100K.
Wait for Martin
followers.
Shkreli to hit you up. You know?
100K followers on any platform. We'll drop the mixtape. At
100K.
least 4 songs.
100K. That's actually achievable, guys. All right. You said
Yeah,
100K on which
bro.
platform? Which
any
one?
platform. I'll go far.
Any of them? Damn, that I thought you would say at least 1 million followers. See, at 100K, that's
reasonable.
That's reasonable. This guy's at 5,000 on Instagram. What do you at on other ones?
Same on TikTok.
About 5,000?
Yeah, pretty much on all 5,000 friends on Facebook.
Nice.
I know about 5,000 people apparently.
Apparently.
That's my cap. That's my ceiling. I can't break the ceiling. So.
Isn't that on Facebook? Isn't that what the cap is?
Yeah. That's
you're not
a
allowed.
reasonable amount. I think anything over 5,000, you don't actually know this person.
You just don't know them.
Yeah.
They're like, there's no way. It's actually impossible.
There's no fucking way you know that nigga. Bro.
Yeah. And they're probably right. You don't know 5,000
I
people,
don't
you fucking
know that
liar.
many people.
It's impossible. You probably know at most 150, like 500.
Plus-
Ain't no way.
Plus on Facebook, it's like you know, say your girl wants to be friends with me. I can't even do it, man. I got 5,000 friends already.
Yeah.
You have to watch from the outside. You know what I mean?
You got to follow now.
All right, man. You gotta follow me like the rest of them.
Yeah,
I know,
that's interesting that it's the same on each one because like usually it's one that
That's
peaks.
pretty weird, right?
Yeah,
that's pretty weird.
that's why I ask.
It's not all exactly 5,000. So I've had the 5,000 friend limit forever on Facebook. Like I said, I reached that a long time ago. I think I have like 3,000 followers on Facebook too. So like that would technically be my biggest one.
So
but I don't post there ever because like it popped off 10 fucking years ago.
Facebook's some bullshit.
Fuck that
now.
one. So, and I had like my real friends and family on there, low key. So I try not to be as like psychotic. Talking about the mass shooting at Chili's and shit. Like, but then I got, like I said, my homegirl, really, we just did videos together. My girl Tatiana, she literally is amazing. And like one of them got like 1.2 million in like 2 days. And it like kind of just took all of my socials up. We've done videos together before. Like 3 or 4 together, but that was the one that really like took my shit up and like got like all of my videos to get like 10K views.
Well, you said she had a big following too, right?
She did, but like the videos, you know how sometimes you do a video with somebody, it doesn't really blow up the way you think.
Mm-hmm.
But that one took off. Like it just took off like 1.2 million views in like 2 days.
Was it like a skit type thing?
Yeah, it was basically like a bad date type of skit. I was acting like a bad date, and I was trying to like get her to like I had like 4 drinks in front of me. And I was like, yo, like, I'm trying to bounce. Like, yo, let's go. And I was acting drunk. But I actually only had like 1 drink. And then we just like had to bring out, you know how it is.
Yeah.
And then like it just got a bunch of views, people talking shit on me. But a lot of guys and shit follow me. So
Yeah. Is that like the path upward is just to keep doing skits? That's
I think
the idea?
just collabing with people in general, getting your shit in front of new audiences and showing that you have the talent to work with other people.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way to do it, in my personal opinion.
That's the way to do it.
I don't know,
I don't think there's another way. I really don't think. I think that like
way.
people get this idea because they see successful people and they see them, but they don't see all these connections that they made surrounding them.
Right.
Like that. And always it's that. Like,
And it's like I did comedy with people in like Chicago, Ohio, Milwaukee, San Diego, LA, and like eventually you start meeting people, who are also doing what you're trying to do. It's like so you could have something that provides value to them as well.
yup.
And then like you get to be a part of something big in the process, like I said, for instance, like my homegirl, like say she wants to do like a comedy movie, and it's like, well, I've already been writing sketches for 5, 6, 7 years. Okay, obviously I could like pitch something to her, and okay, that's funny. Okay, actually come be a part of the team. You know what I mean? Like that's what I think will eventually like all this will culminate into like I'll actually get to work on a project that actually takes off.
Yeah, there is the author. I think I'm forgetting his first. I think it's Robert Greene. I don't want to fuck his name up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard of that guy at least.
He's super dude. He's a prolific fucking author. He's very intelligent, very wise. I should say. He's a wise individual. And so he wrote like 48 Laws of Power. I think like a book about seduction.
Art of Seduction.
The Art of Seduction.
I know.
Yeah. And so
I fuck with YouTube, nigga.
yeah, me too. A little too much. Yeah. You look at my watch hours, you might be surprised. Okay, it's scary, but
this nigga jerking off to YouTube.
Oh yeah, dude.
What the fuck?
Like in Joe Rogan, I'm whacking it, dude. I don't want to admit it, but he got me to. Okay, I didn't mean to say that. So this is a comedy podcast. This is nothing I say can be legally held against me.
This nigga got white confessions. What the fuck just happened?
But anyway, what the fuck was I saying? What the fuck was I saying?
You were talking.
Robert Greene. So he said in a podcast, he was saying like he spent so much time writing. I think it was like journalism, and he didn't like doing the journalism. He really didn't like it. He didn't like having to do that. But when he started writing books, all of those skills he learned while he was doing that played into becoming an author. And it's like that process of...
I get that feeling when I write sketches.
Yes, exactly. Like you don't even know what's going to play into it.
Because I'm like imagining the sketch in my head. And then I'm like, okay, now you got to add a punchline right there. Okay, but then you got to, okay, when we're editing it, okay, you got to chop it exactly right there because it's like a funny edit, like a cut. And then like, okay, let's do some like fucking the musical timing, you know, and like it all comes together into like, okay, this is a funny sketch.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's what I feel like. That's that feeling I get when I make the sketches. That's why I want to do like sketches and then present them to a live audience. So it's still like stand up in a sense of like I'll get a live reaction.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. And so that's the show.
I've done it before in San Diego already.
You've done sketches with the live audience?
With a live audience, yeah. I used to show my sketches in front of a live audience in San Diego.
Like you would play it on a screen, or you would play
So
you would live?
we had our own show every Thursday. It used to be every Monday, but we eventually started selling more tickets and shit. Got it to every Thursday, and it was a variety show. So every week was a different show. So the first week would be sketches. And we would do like stand up. And how it's the same concept. So the star of the show would come up and do 10 minutes of stand up, and then be like, at the end he'd be like, "Yeah, man, I love Demetrius, brother. Nigga's hilarious. Like we met in Huntington Beach during the pandemic, and like he pitched me this sketch idea. I was like, whatever, man. I ain't got shit going on. So this is what we call, you know, first patient in Saw or whatever, like the Saw's first victim, and like he would present the sketch, and then like we would pull the projector down and show the sketch in front of a live audience and pull it back up, and then I'd come back up on stage and be like, "What'd you guys think?" I'm like, "Yo, KJ helped us write that. Yo, give it up for KJ."
Is that what they did with like the Chappelle show? Is that
I don't
the same
know.
thing?
That's just what we did.
Yeah,
that's just how it ended up forming. So that was the first show. Then the second show of the month would be crowd work only, and then the third show would be I forget what we used to do. It was like more like trivia, I think, like trivia style.
Oh, so even different things for
every
each one.
week, but we had a formula, you know. And then the last show was a showcase where we would be like, "Oh, these are funny comedians from all over San Diego. They're doing 10 minutes each."
Oh, that's cool. So you could do the skits, but you can also do a bunch of other shit.
Right. But the skits, we used to do that already. Like that's why I'm like, I know that this is the one. If this works out, if we can make this work, this is a good format. This is funny. This works.
And you would be debuting the skits live in front of that audience,
right?
So you'd get kind of like a
feedback.
live studio reaction,
right?
Like if you had you don't even need a laugh track; they're there to laugh at it, right there.
Exactly.
Wow, that's a great idea, dude. And I didn't know you already did it.
Yeah, we had our own show for a year and a half, and so we just busted that out.
Why don't you do it now? Like, what's stopping you?
It's just connections, and then I also want to be like the star, so I want to like feature and like get my act longer. And like go on the road and do more. Like I'd rather be out doing spots, you know, just hitting as many as possible.
To have more pull, even like to be able to get those names you want.
I'm not gonna be in Chicago that much longer. I'm actually moving to Phoenix pretty soon here.
Oh, no shit! Like you have a date?
Yeah, November.
Hell yeah!
It looks like November is what it looks like.
Like when your lease runs out and it's time to go.
Type shit. And then we're just kind of like, well, because I only came here to do Second City. I wanted to like make sure like I take comedic acting classes.
And Second City is notorious for that.
Exactly. So that's what I came here for.
Was it improv in particular?
Comedic acting and then improv, yeah.
It was both. Okay. Yeah, because they're like they're the at least with improv, like they're the fucking starting.
And I do feel
point.
like it helped, you know.
Yeah.
So after all that, I'm like, okay, like, and I did stand up out here, and I got to do the Columbus Comedy Festival, which is my hometown, and my mom got to come out to the fest, and it was amazing, you know.
So why do you pick Nashville?
No, Phoenix.
Phoenix.
Well, my dad is out there. That's where he started his next endeavor.
Yeah.
So I like work for my dad, and then just it's still a big city. It's the 5th biggest.
Oh,
so
really?
It's not that big. Yeah, it's not that far away from Chicago. They have like 5 comedy clubs. You know, it's a scene.
There's a big scene there.
Yeah, and then I'll be closer to where I started in San Diego. Like it's a 45-minute flight, so you just be closer to
home.
'cause I could just get booked over there and like do shit over there too.
Do you think you have more of a following back there?
I knew more people, but also it's just like honestly, I like to move around and try shit.
Yeah.
Like I'm done with the learning process. I'm like, okay, let's do this now. You know, like right now I'm trying to shoot sketches and get them produced. Like I said, I want to get those 5 sketches produced before I leave out of Chicago. So I got like 8 months.
That's plenty of time.
You know, and then I'll hold on to those and like I said, maybe present them in front of a live audience.
But you want those to be of higher quality than what you were doing previously.
Right.
So that's the challenge.
And instead of having, because I don't have like a time frame I need to release them, I'm like, I just want to have them done before I leave.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can have my own, like I said, I can have those 5 sketches in the chamber. And then hopefully if the guy is doing well, I mean, if nothing else, if it's going well, I could just always fly back into Chicago and just keep working with the guy. And we could do like 5 more or whatever. But we talked about starting with 5.
And it's the sports guy you were talking about, right?
Yeah.
That you will not reveal just yet.
Yeah, because that's just not necessary.
Yeah.
I don't know if he wants that, you know.
Yeah.
I want it to happen. I just want it to happen. Yeah.
Well, and it's even more fun if it happens all at once, right? You drop them and, oh my God, it's fucking this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hell yeah, dude. Yeah. I think that's a fun way to end it, is to tease everything. If you got what I always try to do at the very end, you got a final message for the kids at home. Now's your moment. If you want to inspire them, you want to give them a little nugget of knowledge, now's your chance. And also the social media so people can find you. Here it is. The floor is yours.
Demetrius L. Jackson on all platforms. And my one nugget of knowledge to tell you kids is to fucking go into the trades. Do not chase your dreams. It is not always cracked up to be, and no matter what you choose, you'll struggle. So just for the love of God, do the smart thing.
Get a real job, folks.
Get a real job.
I had James Najjar on a few episodes ago. He said the exact same thing. He said, "Don't quit your job. Get a real job. You're insane."
Real job.
Yeah, and you know what?
Me.
That's the best thing you could possibly hear from someone pursuing insanity.
Because
okay,
you can always take that shit with you.
Yes.
But if you don't have a foundational skill, it's gonna be tough, my boy. So just do that early. Get that out the fucking way.
And you're hearing that from two people who failed to do that, okay? Yeah. We didn't do that, and we wish we did. Okay? Yeah. It'd be really nice to know how to be an electrician right now. If I could fix your heating and cooling, I would be a lot more useful. You know? I would actually have a reliable side income that wasn't so reliant on fucking...
Well, you're going to be working anyway, so
yes.
You might as well make a lot of money.
Exactly.
Even if you're working at, like I said, I work at Sky Zone. And yeah, it's not manual labor, but I don't want to be there. And I'd much rather be making $100 an hour. So just study the thing that makes $100 an hour, bro. Don't let nobody trick you into chasing your dreams. Chase the money. Chase the fucking money when you're young, and you will be able to chase your dreams a little bit later, but it's going to come soon, bro. That's what I got to say.
He's right. It might not be what you want to hear, but sadly, it's the truth. It's the American dream, baby. With that being said, Ruse Radio. Oh, I fucked that up. I didn't like that. I'm going to do it again. Ruse Radio. Dude, I'm fucking it up right now. There's something going on with me. Hang on a second. Let me get this right.
Hey, I got this nigga starstruck.
Oh, dude, I'm starstruck right now. Let me clear my breath. Let me look around. Let me... With that being said, folks, Ruse Radio, clocking out. Double down, competition couldn't help him to rock. Missed the whole time, holy fell through the flock. That's an ordinary miracle, wealth to the block. It's a balance in the character that's calm and collect. It's apparent his caricature is lost in the mess. It's hysterical, the